Red Sox. When it comes to big wins and we talk about propelling the team and was it a signature win, they're as good as their next game. They're as good as their next win. The next game is always what matters in this situation, and it will show what it means for the team. But now what does this set up? A meeting with the Dodgers and Mookie Betts. So we could say pass, fail. I like to use the word sputtering. I saw that today in the Boston Globe. The Red Sox are sputtering after winning 10 in a row. Sure. There's no doubt about it. The teams they're playing are class up. But how far is the gap? Yeah, it's a higher class. But is the gap really that wide? And I'm going to tell you, no, it's not. And the Red Sox have some time. Can they add? There's talks about this being a great seller's market. Sure, if you got to sell, do it, but you better be adding as well. The team's fighting. We didn't see this from them a year ago at this time, or even years past at this time. Hell, they barely made it to August last year, still in competition. They didn't even make it to September sometimes. 2 and 4 out of the breaks of passing grade. Maybe they are sputtering. I still think they're fighting, and it's still a playoff team. But does last night's win propel them to go on another run? I think they can. So we'll leave it there at 617-779-0985. I do want to get into the redemption night that it was for Carlos Narvaez, who, man, it's been a tough week for him. But we'll certainly get into that. Also, what's the deal with Aroldis Chapman and what Cora did late in the game there? I got some numbers for you. And Marcelo Myers' injury. What's it mean for the Sox? We'll have more on that. And it's also day 2 of Patriots training camp. I'm sure there's a ton of stuff out there we'll get into. And, man, I'm getting rocked this week by my childhood. Malcolm Jamal Warner, One Day of the Cosby Show. Ozzy Osbourne. I'll say this one note about Hulk Hogan passing away today at the age of 71. There's a lot of things you can say about Hulk Hogan. Good and bad and ugly. But there's one thing that I think a lot of people in that profession always said about him was that it was always about him. Yeah, we were all Hulkamaniacs. He was a super egomaniac. And I'm saying this to be a joke, but Ozzy Osbourne is one of the biggest, most polarizing personalities in the history of our lives. In the history of our lives. But what did Hulk Hogan do? He couldn't even let Ozzy Osbourne go over. That's one of the highlights of Hulk Hogan's career. Whenever putting somebody else over, he always had a problem doing it. And to make light of the loss, he couldn't even let Ozzy Osbourne go over. So a little bit of love and a little bit of hate there when it comes to Hulk Hogan, and I'm sure that's the feeling, and that's what makes people great at times. That's what makes us great on the radio. You either love me or you hate me. You either love Skaz or hate his takes on Bill Parcells. But you know what? You're here every night, baby, on the night show. 617-779-0985. Are the Red Sox still a playoff team? Will last night's win propel them? Thoughts on Hulk Hogan, the Patriots, and more as we're here until 11 o'clock tonight. I'm Joe Murray here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5.
guy, good guy. With the call of the home run last night for the Red Sox, and they were winning extra innings. You can react to the game last night. 617-779-0985. There's a lot to get into tonight, but a little bit of redemption there for Narvaez. But and real quick on him, he struggled. But he's hitting out of place. He's still a rookie. He's learning pitchers. Like, I don't give passes to people. Like, I normally don't do that. But am I understanding of situations that can be difficult? I am pretty sure it's difficult for a guy who was in the Yankee system who got cut to be playing over Connor Wong and actually learning new pitchers, guys he didn't really wasn't in camp with, and he's hitting right around 270 and giving you power numbers. Like, I'm not trying to go crazy about the guy. I think he will have some sort of slip at some point because the blueprint will be out, or maybe the Yankees just didn't see it, or he's getting an opportunity, and here he is. I just have some expectation of him at least. Wouldn't be surprised if his average dipped to 250 or lower at some point. He's their cleanup hitter at times. Like, you're banking a lot on this guy, but at the same time, he is being coached a certain way or managed a certain way. You know, he's the one that they're telling him, hey, move up on this guy. Try to get that, set up all that, get that better frame look right there. By the way, this framing thing, now that I'm at it, I watched the All-Star game and I liked the ABS system. Is framing going to have anything to do with that? And if it's not, then what the hell are you teaching it for? If it is, explain it to me. Because that's why I'm out on that. And may I also add that on the Narvaez home run, did you notice that there might have been fan interference? Like, what is going on with Carlos Narvaez and being interfered with, whether it's hitting or while being behind the plate? I don't like it. But, man, what a redemption night for him. And you know what? It was a dramatic game. We were here in studio. We obviously can't talk about it because we're going up against the Red Sox. But we talk about certain situations, or, hey, who would you pitch here in this? Or if they don't score here, like, we talk about it. We have a roundtable. Skaz, we had Luke last night. It's just Skaz and I tonight. But the Red Sox were down 5-0. Like, Lucas Giolito gave up 4 home runs. This is now back-to-back starts where he has given up the long ball. He's got 5 in 2 starts. And then they had a 6-run, 2-out 5th inning and rallied on a Romy Gonzalez grand slam off Luzardo, who was, at one point, looked good, and then the wheels fell off. That lead lasted until the 8th inning when Aroldis Chapman came in. And I need to understand this one. I got to just try to understand this. So Chapman gave up his 3rd homer of the year to Real Muto, excuse me. But they really wanted that out. And they went to Chapman. He got the out. And then you're like, well, what's going to happen in the 8th? And Harper is leading off the 8th. Harper swings at the first pitch pop-up. All right, you're going to take him out, right? You're going to take him out? You're going to take him out, right? Nope. Faces another hitter. Fly out. 2 outs. So now you're going to take him out. Okay. Now you're going to take him out? Nope. You left him in there too long. That's on the manager. I'm sorry. Chapman's been lights out. I'm not going to fault him for this. Now, is he a competitor and wants to be out there and wants to prove every situation? Absolutely. It's a long season. And there's numbers to prove. He doesn't do that often. Cora has been managing aggressively, no doubt about it. The strategy last night before the 8th inning, for the first time all year, like, Cora went to Chapman immediately against Schwarber. He got on the pop-out. But recording 4 outs for the first time without faltering, you're asking too much. Gave up the home run. Straightaway center was a shot. Mentioned it was the 3rd homer he surrendered all year. It was his first since May 7th. He hasn't given up a home run since May. His inning in a third outing was his longest of the year. Whitlock did well in the ninth. Weissert, of course, gave up a run in the 10th. But just that move alone bothered me. I understand you're being aggressive. But are you putting the pitcher in the best situation? You're not. You're not. Now, if it's an 8th inning into the 9th inning situation, I'm for it. But letting him go an inning in a third and getting before the 8th inning, it's just something he hasn't done this year. And, well, I probably wouldn't do it again. So your thoughts on that? It's 617-779-0985. We're here until 11. Skaz, good game last night. I know that we had a full house here last night. So I know I wasn't really able to communicate with you. And you had Luke back there.
Yeah, Luke lives and dies by every pitch with the Sox, so it was fun to experience that with Luke. But yeah, that was Joe, that's a game that gives you hope. Hope is a dangerous thing, but that's what that game did. That game makes you believe. I do think Alex Cora deserves some credit for last night. We've given him, I think rightfully so, a lot of guff this year and previous years because his team still doesn't know how to run the bases or field the ball properly. But I thought he had a really good game last night, and he deserves credit for it.
What about being criticized for the Chapman situation?
Yeah, I mean, poor Luke last night called it how he saw it.
You know what's so funny?
Immediately
He doubted
backtracked.
himself. He
Yes.
backtracked it.
Immediately.
Like, how do you make it? Like, he'd be, I don't know if I trust Luke as a manager. But, like, that was the mind. Didn't we all say, yep.
Bring him out for Harper, and then that's probably it.
I didn't even think it through. Like, I didn't think, all right, well, what if he gets Harper out? What would happen next? Is this the problem with what's going on with the team, maybe? Like, do you really think Cora sat there and said, you know what, we really need this out? He's never pitched before the 8th. Let's get this out. And you know what? I'd really like him to face Harper. Then what? Was there a then what?
I just don't think they have the arms they want to have right now. I think that's part of it, too.
I think he's in such survival mode that he's not 2 steps ahead anymore. And this is a reason why I don't love, it's working, but this is why I don't love all the platooning. I like guys who play every day. I don't want this guy's got good numbers. Again. Just roll the balls out and let him play. But you know what? That's a Joe problem. That's a me problem. But at some point, like, don't you want to mainstay at first? Do you really want to mess around? And dude, should we even talk about second base right now? Like, should Raffaello be the guy right now? Because he might have to be.
Your best outfielder is now playing second base.
Are they thinking ahead? Like,
I don't know if they have a choice.
I understand in life, Skaz, we have to do it one day at a time, right? I unfortunately am already thinking about what we're doing next segment. I am already thinking about 7:50, 8 o'clock, having a guest at 8:20, musings and in or out. Like, I'm already thinking about what's next because I want to focus on the take. So I don't know if Cora thinks these things out, or is he surviving so much right now that he's not. It's almost as, let's see what we get here, then we'll go to this. They won the game. They won the game. But I still, wow. I just saw some news.
Is this breaking news, do you think, Joe?
Yeah, we don't need to play it, but it's a big name, though.
A big one.
And not to mention, somebody that Drake May could have been running around from. Why don't we do it here in headlines? But the Patriots will avoid a standout on the defensive line week 1. Everything's turning up Patriots, or is it? We'll do that next after the headline. I'm Joe Murray.
Sports Hub Headlines, presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Well, according to Ian Rappaport of NFL.com, the Raiders are releasing standout defensive tackle Christian Wilkins. He was a prize free agent just a couple of seasons ago. 5-year, $110 million. He's been dealing with a serious foot injury. He'll be on the books for $57.5 million, fully guaranteed. What happened there? Scott. What did he do? They're going to just eat $60 million? Eat it? Okay. Not my problem. Not Drake May's problem either. I wonder if the Pats would look at it, but again, what did he do? Speaking of the Patriots, day 2 of camp. The foot injury, and they owe him a lot of money, and they cut him. Why? I don't know. I think we'll need more on that. Here's where I'm going with it, Skaz. Do you know where he's from?
Local guy, good guy.
I don't know if he's a good guy.
Local guy.
Local guy, though. The little I know about him, he went to Framingham High, then went out to Springfield, or from Springfield, one or the other. And I believe he has spoken on the Patriots before. I want to say he either said, I remember reading before when he was a Dolphin because he was a terror. He played at Clemson, right? I remember him talking about Richard Seymour and Vince Wilfork. Like, I remember him, like, speaking about them and, you know, being influences on him. So, if there is a need for the New England Patriots, it's by far defensive tackle. And if you're going to take a chance on a guy, why wouldn't you take a chance on him? Here's the other thing. I don't know what he did. I don't know what he did.
He's got a bad foot, apparently. A really bad foot.
I don't think Vrabel cares. I don't think Vrabel cares. That's a player. That's a player's guess. That guy's a baller. Fine, you play him on certain situations. But you know what? That's what they need. If Barmore and Milton Williams are who they are, Wilkins can ease into this thing. Legitimately, if that guy was healthy with Milton Williams, holy smokes, with Barmore, he could play the end if he had to. But again, the foot injury. And what did he do? Why did he get cut? Like, there's Miami to there. You know, I'm just, I don't know. That one doesn't smell right. Something going on there, but I will tell you, though.
Diana Rossini, a minute ago, the situation with Wilkins in Vegas has been simmering for months as both sides have disagreed on how his foot injury and recovery should be handled.
Vrabel will know how to handle that. And I'm not doing that as a, Mike Cadlick, friend of the show from Sports Illustrated, literally would do a meme of Patriot whenever someone gets cut. He's going to join us next week, guys. I tell you that? In studio. We're going to have a pizza party. Street Team Joe's going to be here, too. All right, he asked. He goes, can I hang out with you guys? I said, yeah, we're having a pizza party. Of course, you're always invited. Wilkins went to Springfield Central, then Suffolk Academy, then to Clemson. Someone has, that's brown checkmark. I'm trying to localize a scenario here. Would he go back to Miami? It's not about the money at this point, though. Oh, he got himself a nice little Patriot deal. Oh, you heard me say it before. They've been getting wholesale deals for years. Oh, baby. Wilkins would excite me, Skaz. A guy with an injury, foot injury.
Very exciting.
Does nothing for you, huh?
I mean, if he's healthy, yeah, he's a great player, but...
Have you seen their D-line?
I have to imagine the Raiders... I don't know. I don't want to assume the Raiders know what they're doing, but he was their biggest free agent signing last year. He played 5 games for them and was guaranteed over $100 million.
Fall guy.
For what?
Well, who signed him, though? Who signed him?
Not these guys. But still, you don't want him on your football team? That's a red flag.
Red flag. Also, though, yes, red flag. Also, though, Petey's in charge. Brady's in charge. Hey, if you're not going to agree the way with the handle things internally, you're out. Isn't that funny though? Brady doing that to people.
If you can't get along with Pete Carroll, are you going to get along with Mike Vrabel? Is there a more player-friendly coach than Pete Carroll?
The old pushback by Skaz.
I'm just asking the question.
No, you could. This is why we do a talk show. There's me saying, love it, do it, great, and there's you saying, red flag.
I love
Petey do this.
Love the talent, but I mean, are the Patriots they going to pay that money?
Oh no, it's a Patriot deal.
Exactly. That's why they do it. Injured guy.
Thank you.
That's for us.
Thank you.
Cheap deal, sure.
They look at their. I dare people to look at the Patriot. Go to our lads. That's where I go. Go to our lads. They'll give you all the depth charts. Our lads, Patriots. Okay. Tell me their defensive line. Tell me their defensive line. Because if Barmore is not healthy, which it looks like he is. And if Milton Williams goes down, I'm going to be playing nose guard. I think their backup's Jeremiah Farms. And who did they drafted that kid from Florida State this year? And they got a guy, a Samoan guy that played for the Cardinals last year. Tonga. So, I mean, they're a little thin. They could use a big body there in Christian Wilkins. Your thoughts, 617-779-0985. We started Red Sox. And, Justin's in Lynn. Justin?
Hey, Joe, it's Justin. I just want to talk about the Red Sox again. I think this weekend is going to determine where this team's going to go. And I just pulled up the Marcelo Meyer injury. He's got wrist discomfort right now, and they don't know when he's going to return yet. He's got wrist discomfort. Yeah.
Okay. How about this? What would be a successful series? Splitting with the Dodgers or winning the series?
Winning the series, Joe. I think if they take 2 out of 3, that for me is a successful series. You know, they survived last night. They were lucky to survive last night. You know, and I think, losing 2 out of 3 to the Phillies and the team before that.
Yeah. All right, thanks, Justin. Sorry, buddy. I could hear myself in the background. But you're the man. Call every night, loyal. Does his own podcast, TV show. Loyal listener to the 98.5 The Sports Hub, Justin from Lynn. And he likes Monty's Pizza and Fosse's Pizza, which I do too. Tony's in Marlboro. Tony!
Hey guys, thank you for the show. I'm stuck on 495 in traffic, and you guys are very entertaining. I appreciate it. I was curious if anyone else was questioning the Phillies guy walked one of the Red Sox guys. Then he walked the next guy on 4 pitches. None of them were even close to the zone. Then our next batter gets up. Okay, 4 balls right in a row. Walks the guy. Next batter gets up, swings at the first pitch. That's nowhere near the zone. It's like what everybody in T-ball knows. Make the guy throw a strike before you start swinging. No, am I nuts?
You're a little nuts.
And number 2.
What lane are you?
Yeah?
What lane are you in on 495 right now? You on the left?
I'm in the slowest lane possible.
I can hear someone revving their engines behind you.
Yeah, there was a guy in a Maserati or something.
Whoa, Maserati!
And then my other it goes 185.
I know. Did he lose his?
My other question was, I was watching it on ESPN, and it was such an incredible game with all the drama and everything going on, and quite crazy. And the announcers, I don't know if anyone else noticed this or had trouble watching, the most uncharismatic team calling this baseball game, and I did talk to somebody else about it. They agreed it was crazy how unwatchable the game was with these ESPN. I don't know who they were. They had to be the C team.
Well, Tony, one of them was Carl Ravitch, who did Baseball Tonight and from Needham, Massachusetts. I didn't listen. You know why? Because I work and I don't have sound on. So if you want and you don't like them, you could listen to us while you watch the game, and then we're going to talk about what we're seeing.
Yeah, but I think there's a delay, isn't there?
Yeah, but don't you want to support us?
I definitely do. It would have been better just to listen to you guys and play some chess on my iPad.
All right, buddy. Well, thank you. I was just trying to get a cheap pop there.
On 4 pitches, none of them were even close to the zone. Then
guy's on the Autobahn.
I could only imagine him on his phone with his hot take, right? Was he holding it like a pizza? Or was it the other way? Anyways, this guy is like, get the hell away from this guy.
None of them were even close to the zone. Then
Oh, Owen. He's in New Hampshire. What's up, Owen?
What's up? How are you guys?
How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I want to know your thoughts on Jalen Polk
Yeah, he's not practicing right
over
now.
there training camp. I really think we just got to wait for him a little bit, no?
I mean, they have options. You know, they can put him on PUP. They can. I don't know, man. They didn't draft him, so I don't know what they're going to do.
I mean, seriously, I'm getting a little sick of New England not, marketing for a big receiver. I don't get, come on. Stephon Diggs is doing cocaine over there on boats. I mean, we need a solid receiver. Why didn't we go for Metcalf or something like that? I mean, I just don't understand this team anymore. What's your guys' thoughts on the general manager and all that?
All right, Owen. Well, you made it on the radio, and you said cocaine, and you were hyperbolic about nothing.
When I think of star receivers, we should be clamoring for. Jalen Polk jumps right to the top of mind.
Well, he said DK Metcalf, but you know what? DK Metcalf didn't want to play here. You know why? Because you stink. Remember he said he didn't want to play in a cold climate, but then went to Pittsburgh?
Very warm, Pittsburgh.
Think about that. That's how much. This is what I mean by this year.
And Stephon Diggs, allegedly. Allegedly.
I don't care if he's doing blow. I don't care what he's doing. Is he healthy and can he pass a drug test? In. I don't care. Okay, big receiver. You want me to give you a big receiver? How about Matt Collins? He's probably taller than some of the other guys. I wouldn't consider him red zone target. Now, Skaz, I'm eyeballing Matt Collins. I'm mind's eye eyeballing him, but I think he's 6 foot. Did you give me 6'1"?
He's 6'4", Joe.
Oh, my God. That's a big boy. Mind's eye told me Matt Collins tall. And you know what? I got a little nugget today. I got a nugget. You know, familiarity and the Josh McDaniels offense goes a long way. Did you know that? It goes a long way. I feel like the guys who know the offense might be sticking around. And the guys who don't are either going to get cut or the practice squad or PUP for the year. And then, who knows, maybe even traded for that matter. So that's the future of Jalen Polk. We got news today regarding Hulk Hogan. I feel like we're going to pay tribute all night long. I'm curious what Skaz is. And Skaz, the reason why I'm disclaiming this is kind of a tease, but I'm disclaiming a tease. I want to know your first reaction to Hulk Hogan and your last. Okay?
Okay.
We'll do a little bit of that, and certainly your calls at 617-779-0985. I'm Joe Murray here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. On the way on 98.5 The Everybody knows Joe.
Just keeps getting better.
Joe Murray on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Kid, I don't really have a first. I was a Shawn Michaels guy when I was into wrestling. My first, thoughts of Hulk Hogan, I don't want to disparage the man, so I'll try my best, but he was more of a caricature of a human being, of than anything else to me. He was larger than life. He wasn't like a real guy. You know what I mean? That's kind of like my first impression of Hulk Hogan, was that he was almost a cartoon character. That's how big he was.
Yeah, so you just looked at him as you looked at him as a character, not a human, which he used in court once.
That's true.
Last memory?
Yeah, not a lot of being booed relentlessly by the WWE crowd.
That's mine.
It's a tough one, but they weren't booing for no reason.
Yeah, that's my last memory. To give you a little detail on it, he was promoting his new brother beer. What I don't even know what Great American Beer. I don't even know what the hell to call it.
Yeah, I can't sit here and pretend I was like a Hulk Hogan fan. I was not.
I'm going to tell you, we'll do this in musings later tonight, but I am floored by what happened this week. Malcolm Jamal Warner of the Cosbys, Ozzy Osbourne, and Hulk Hogan are three signatures of my childhood. I was born in 1982. I'm 43 years old. Rocky 3 came out in 83, and I remember Hogan being Thunder Lips. But again, I was just born, so that's my first memory of Hulk Hogan because of Rocky 3 and Mr. T. In 87, I watched WrestleMania 3. I was 5 or 6. But I remember WrestleMania 3. Comprehension not all there, but I do remember Hogan slamming Andre. There was obviously the I'm a Real American versus the Iron Sheik, which was huge. I mean, there was a lot going on in the world there. Desert Storm, etc. There was a great storyline. WWE knew how to really pull your heartstrings using real-life scenarios in the ring. There was Hulk Hogan versus Ultimate Warrior at SummerSlam, title for title. I believe I was 10. There was Earthquake when he sat on the chest of Hulk Hogan, and I remember our good friend Bird sent Hulk Hogan a letter because he had to go to the hospital. True story. And then Hogan came back, left. I think he won the title again, left, and then went to WCW. It was a big deal. And then he heel turned. But my first true memories are Thunder Lips, Andre. The rest was history. I will say this in passing. I don't want to do political talk at all. I don't want to make this a political conversation, but Hulk Hogan, as Skaz put it, was a character. He used his persona to basically shield himself, the real person, Terry Bollea, in court. He used racist comments regarding who his daughter was dating. And it was on a podcast. And when you share a locker room with other people, especially black people, it did not go over well for Hulk Hogan. More stories started to come out about Hulk Hogan, about he didn't put anybody over. We heard all about his creative control that he had in his contract. But as a human being, I'm sure he was super charitable. I'm sure he did a lot early on in his career. There was the whole steroid thing, if you want to get into that. The worst thing Hulk Hogan did was publicly say something on a podcast about his daughter and who she was dating. It ruined him. It ruined him. And I never looked at him the same, and nobody else did either that respected him. I think everyone respects the work of Hulk Hogan, the character. But his choices later on in life were horrible. he was befriended by a lot of people. And I said this to Skaz earlier. I've done bits on the radio about when is it too soon, right? When's it too soon? Remember Adam Schefter had the quarterback.
Dwayne Haskins, right?
It shouldn't have been written up like that.
Yes.
And I think he's owned it. Okay?
He apologized. Yeah, it was horribly phrased.
I don't want to make this. I think Hulk Hogan, the character and wrestler, should be absolutely celebrated. He was a polarizing figure for 40 years. But I don't think I will ever forget who Terry Bollea was.
Yeah, context matters. You're trying to paint the whole picture. I think that's fair.
And I don't want to step on the guy's grave. I've told you, most of the heroes of my lifetime were all Mount Rushmore of a-holes.
You're a wrestling fan. He is probably, you would know better than me, but he is, to an outsider, the most important figure in the history of wrestling.
He is
probably
the most important figure in the history of the entertainment, whatever you want to call it. He literally carried. We talked about plateauing or stepping. WCW got the name Hulk Hogan and beat WWE to the point where the guy who hired him and made him had to almost lose his business, who also Mount Rushmore of a-hole. I'll say this in passing. I can't believe Ric Flair outlived Hulk Hogan. For years, we wanted it, right? We wanted Hulk Hogan. We wanted Ric Flair. Ric Flair won the battle once again. 617-779-0985. We'll get the headline here. I'm Joe Murray. You're listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub.
From the Telstra Type Studios, WBZ FM and HD1. It's not just the games. It's Toucher and Hardy, Zolak and Bertrand, Felger and Maz, Joe Murray. For Boston sports fans, it's 98.5 The Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station. Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
All right, Patriots at day 2 of camp today. No Jalen Polk, but they worked on a lot of short stuff, taking profit all day long. There is some NFL news that just dropped a little while ago. Christian Wilkins, released from the Raiders, has been dealing with a foot injury. Just signed a 5-year, $110 million contract last season. The Celtics are moving on from J.D. Davison. Davison won the MVP of the G League this year, former Alabama standout. And the Red Sox, they're off tonight. They'll take on the Dodgers over the weekend. Headlines, they are brought to you by Celsius Energy Drinks. Refresh your energy with zero sugar, essential vitamins, and proven ingredients. I'm Joe Murray. Your next update in 30 minutes.
If you've got the app, you've got Toucher and Hardy to wake you up no matter where you are.
Or who may or may not have been to jail.
Get the app. The 98.5 The Sports Hub app.
The Raiders have released a statement. We've decided that it's in the best interest of the organization to move on from Christian Wilkins, and he has been informed of his release from the team. This franchise has a commitment to excellence on and off the field. With no clear path or plan for future return to play for Christian, this transaction is necessary for the entire organization to move forward and prepare for the new season. On and off the field is what I took away from that. What happened? What'd he do? And if he did nothing, what a Patriots deal it could be. All right, let's hear from you guys. You heard from us. How about Hanson and JP? What's up, bro?
My friend, how are we doing tonight?
How you doing, man? Hey, I ran into a guy the other day. I ran into a guy who knew you.
I am very evil. Hopefully, this is not as bad as I think it could be.
No,
but
it's an older guy named Chuck who worked with you. But anyways, we can move on from that. How you doing?
Well, I'm doing quite well. I'm very happy with your success, my friend. You've done so well over the past few years. It's pretty cool to see how you've grown up, my man.
Your dad was my basketball coach growing up.
I'm very well aware of that, my friend.
Go ahead. What's up?
So, obviously, first and foremost, the 3 celebrity deaths that have happened in the past, 96 hours are such a juxtaposition of human character. Theo, the lovable, klutzy teen guy who makes mistakes, even though he's smart enough to, think it through, but just doesn't. Ozzy, who was just the avalanche of humanity, who did whatever he wanted, whenever he wanted to make everyone happy. And then Hulk Hogan, who was eat your vitamins, be good, work out, raw. It's such the wildest trio of humans to die within 96 hours.
I agree with you, man. And Yeah.
And
one was Satan, the other we all loved, and then became the biggest jerk. While Theo we all loved.
Yes, I mean, listen, I'm talking about Hulk Hogan, the character, not the human being.
Yes.
I learned, unfortunately, a long time ago, you have to separate the art from the artist.
Kayfabe.
Or else no one is going to be loved at all. As a good example, my mother, who passed away a couple years ago.
Oh, I'm sorry to
found
hear that.
Chris. No, it's not. Well, thank you for that. But she found a Chris Brown song on one of my nieces and nephews' iPad, and she was like, "Nope, that's gonna go." And when I found out, I was like, "Hey, Ma, did you delete all the Beatles?" And she was like, "No, why would I?" I was like, "Well, Paul McCartney threw his ex-wife's own prosthetic leg at her head during an argument.
Whoops.
So what's the issue?"
Hey,
and she was like, "Well."
Hey, Ryan,
yes,
real quick, we can't talk about that on the radio. But, hey, what's going on at Fenway?
My bad.
Can you tell us about what the strike that's going on?
So the biggest thing is, obviously, the main goal is we are trying to make sure they don't replace us with robots. They are actively trying to make sure they replace every position there with an automated type of thing where you don't need a human being. You are there, it's soulless, and the whole nine. They want to break the union up from the bottom up, and they want to replace us with robots. And I think that's wrong. Fenway has been around for 115 years now, and it's survived because of the humans that have been there, whether they've been ball players, owners, the staff, the whole nine. It's all a part of it. And the fact that this company right now is just blatantly trying to replace human beings who have been there for over 40 years with machines is just ridiculous. And we want to make sure that the generations behind us that can stay there for 47 years if they so choose. You know, it's wild. You know, it started at grocery stores with the self-checkout, and we're letting companies just do what they want. And this is one of those things where right now we're trying to make sure every generation behind us has a chance to work a job like this if they want to do it.
All right. Thanks, Ryan. Please, appreciate you. I could let you go on, but don't want to get into the political side of things, but it sounds like things could get a little interesting this weekend over at Fenway.
Yeah, I mean, I would prefer humans over at Fenway.
Me too.
I mean, they cheap out on everything else. They could at least pay human beings. Yeah. I think that's part of the allure of, you know, being a season ticket holder, being a fan, is when you go to these places. Like, you know, growing up, we had, you know, I think it was like a 10-game pack or something like that. We sat in the same seats, you know, 5 to 10 times a year, you know, sell a couple of them, try and make your money back, whatever it was. But my dad had partial season tickets for 25, you know, plus years, even if it was only, you know, the 10 games. Like, we sat in the same section. You would know the people that were working, you know, around, like, your vendors.
Yeah.
Like, you know the beer guy. You know who's doing the ice cream helmets. Like, all that stuff. I think that's part of the allure of, like, a good ballpark. I like his point that it's soulless without, you know.
That's what I was going to say. I knew him growing up, but I know him, kids I grew up with who've worked at Fenway, no lie, since they were 18 years old. I think he's been there since he was probably 17 or 18. You know, like, when I go to the park, guys, that's who I go to see those guys, because I know they're there. Like you said, there's familiarity. Sometimes I don't even go to my seats. I just hang out and talk to them. Like, you know what I mean? Work the bear stand, hang out. I know 5 guys that are still there, literally, from when I was in high school. He's one of them. I could shout them all out if you want me to, but I won't. But I love everybody. Jim's in Florida. Jim.
Hey, Joe. Thanks for taking my call. Yeah, you know, I was not a Hulk Hogan fan growing up. I was more of a Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels guy. But I'll tell you this, something about Hogan, and I've heard other professional wrestlers say this, that the thing that I will always respect and admire about Hogan was his passion. He was one of the, Pat Patterson said it, he just had so much damn charisma that people just absolutely loved him. And for that, he provided me with a lot of entertainment, and I'm sad to see him go.
No doubt about it. Listen, nobody could ever say a bad word about the attention or the gravitation of Hulk Hogan speaking. People use it's called a promo in the business, and he started his. Let me tell you something, Mean Gene, and it stuck. Let me tell you something, Mean Gene. And early on, he was a face, and told kids to say their prayers and eat their vitamins, and he was a role model. He was. I think that's why when I talk about him in a bad way, it's because don't meet your heroes. come to find out who some of these guys in kayfabe, we've used the word before. In that entertainment world, that's what it is, and it's just he though used it in a bad way. Gideon on the train. What's up, bud?
Hey, what's going on? I just wanted to call in and ask if you were a pro wrestler, what would be your entry theme song?
I'd have one created for me, but if I had to pick one like that's already been made, I do like the Joe Hendry one, and I would have it say, I believe in Joe Murray.
There you go.
What would yours be?
The Seeker by The Who.
Okay. Got it something on Hogan?
My brother was the wrestling guy. Actually, he does pro wrestling. He wrestles with Chaotic Pro Wrestling.
Yeah, I know Chaotic. What's
I went to one of their shows a couple weeks ago. It was pretty fun.
What's his name? Shout him out.
His wrestling name is Cash McGinnis.
Cash McGinnis, huh?
Yep.
A lot of local guys. Well, I know a lot of the local Chaotic. Okay, yeah, I know who this guy is. I'm looking at it right now. Good stuff. Yeah, Chaotic's a nice little promotion. Local guy, good guys. Triple H had a big hand in that at one point in his career. Now he handed it off.
Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Murray. I believe in Joe Murray. From Boston to Calhoun to either shore. I believe in Joe Murray. I believe in Joe Murray.
All right, we'll talk to Christopher Smith of Mass Live coming up next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5.
You could use a night off as well as Christopher Smith. Smitty on baseball over at Mass Live. What's going on, Smitty?
Hey, what's up?
You home? You're on the road? What's going on?
I'm home. I'm ready to go to Fenway tomorrow.
So, dude, what do you make of last night's win? And do you think it was a win that could propel the team in a new winning direction?
I guess. I mean, it was a good win, obviously. I mean, they're down, 5-0 early. It was the fifth time in 6 games on the road trip that they had been down first in a game. And, to come back for that much, I mean, and obviously a dramatic home run, a grand slam by Romy. And, and then they get the job done in extra innings when that's been a difficult thing for them to do this year on the road when they've been in extra innings. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, it's just as good as your next day's starting pitcher, and, we'll see how the starting pitching goes against the Dodgers this weekend. Dodgers haven't been playing their best baseball of late, so it might be the best time to get them. And, I guess that, two of 6 on the road trip wasn't that bad. It could have been 3 of 3. It could have been, a little bit better, but when you're going against first place teams like that, it ended up not being too bad of a road trip when you get that final win there.
Yeah, I'll always take if you can avoid a sweep, right? I know it's not great, right? 2-4 out of the gate after winning 10. Should we look at it as they're 12-4? Like, is that how we should look at it in their last 6? Like that's another way to look at it. But the Red Sox usually always lose games like that. In the past, they would always lose those type of games, always. So I ask you now, do you think that the biggest priority is pitching, or do they need more bats at this point?
I think you could make the argument, but I think that the biggest priority, for me, I think the biggest priority is starting pitching. And, Craig Breslow has told us that he wants an impact, starter that can go behind a Garrett Crochet. I don't know if they're going to end up getting that because the demand is going to be real. You look at some of the top pitchers on the market, and Joe Ryan and Mitch Keller and guys like that have multiple years of control. That's going to take a lot to that. Now, the Red Sox do have a lot in their system, right? Like they have, Peyton Tolley, who's one of the best pitchers. He was the second-round pick last year. He's developed into one of the best pitchers in the minor leagues right now. Franklin Arias, who's a shortstop prospect. They've got the password. I mean, these guys are top. They've got several top 100 prospects. They've got another kid named Brandon Clark, who's, I think his batting average against with Salem and Greenville this year is below 100, and he was a guy that they drafted last year. A really good left-handed, hard-throwing guy that's up in the hundreds or near 100 miles per hour. So, they have people to trade. They obviously have, a surplus of left-handed outfielders that they could trade from, too. I mean, you could headline a package with Jaron Duran or a Willie Abreu. I wouldn't trade Willie Abreu right now. I mean, he has the most home runs on the team, and he's a Gold Glove player in right field. If I was to trade anybody on the roster, it'd be Jaron Duran. My colleague Sean McAdam, though, he doesn't think that's probably going to happen. And there was actually just a report, Sean's been saying that he thinks it makes more sense to trade him during the off season, right? Like you're going to get more from him. I mean, you do have it. You do have it. It's never an issue to have too many outfielders right now, right? What if somebody were to get hurt right after you trade Jaron Duran or something like that? So, it's not a problem right now, although it could fill a need on the team like starting pitching. But, Sean has been, Sean McAdam, my colleague, has been, he has said that he does not think it's likely that he's going to get traded this week. And then I think John Heyman just came out and said that within the last hour, that there's been a push by the Padres, obviously. The Padres really like him dating back to a couple of years ago. But it doesn't look like that's going to come together. So I think you're going to see if the Red Sox go out and get a starting pitcher, if they go out and get a first baseman, another bat, it's going to be prospects within the organization. And as I just said, they have a lot of those guys. They have a lot of top 100 guys and intriguing guys, and they aren't afraid to trade draft guys either, right? Like, because they traded, their top draft pick from last year, their first rounder, in the Garrett Crochet deal for Garrett Crochet. So they will trade a guy that they just drafted.
Christopher Smith joining us here from Mass Live. You shouted out McAdam. The one thing I worked with Sean years ago, the one thing I always kind of picked up, because you guys got a great team over at Mass. The sports team, by the way, shout out to you guys.
Thank you.
You got you, Chris, Sean, and then the football side, like Karen, you know what I mean? Like you guys.
Yeah.
Whoever you is hiring over there. Great job. But the one thing I always liked about Sean is he knows the agents. Like he has a relationship with Scott Boras. Like if he's hearing guys aren't going to get moved, I'm going to take his word for it. You know what I mean? And another spot I'm looking at is catcher. Last night was a great redemption night for Narvaez, right? The night before with the interference and then the home run last night. I'm just waiting for the tail off at some point. But is there a need for this team with Connor Wong struggles at the plate to potentially get another backup catcher?
I think so. I mean, I think that it's a legit issue. I asked Alex Gore about it. I think we were it was like a month ago. I asked him about, how do you manage Carlos Narvaez's workload going forward here? Because he's coming up on the most innings he has ever caught. And when I asked that question, it was a month ago. So he's already surpassed the most innings he's ever caught. Catcher's the most demanding position. We've seen, guys that have, had great first halves and catchers that have completely gone off, that have completely not had good second halves offensively and defensively because of the workloads and how tired they are. So I think it is important to get somebody, another catcher, a backup catcher who can, catch 3 times a week if you need them, because, there's going to be tail off for Narvaez. I mean, you just can't have that much of a workload as opposed to never before in his major league or his minor league career, even, catching that many innings and the grind that it has on you and, not expect it to catch up. And so I think that Alex Cora kind of finally acknowledged that, that they do have to manage that a little bit. And there's an issue, right, with backup catcher. I mean, Connor Wong has 1 RBI. Does he have an extra base hit? I don't think he has an extra base hit.
He's horrible. He was the starter. It's been really. You know what? I think they still like it though. The consistency that he knows the staff, but he can't.
Yeah. Well, the issue is that you can take a guy defensively who's not hitting. He has been better in certain areas defensively, but he hasn't been good in certain areas defensively either this year. And so you can take a guy that's not hitting, but to that extreme, I mean, that's really not hitting, right? You're guaranteeing you're getting no production on a day. And even when we see Carlos, a day off that Carlos Narvaez got the other day, it's he wouldn't pinch hit Connor Wong in the 7th inning when he was represented the tying run because he wanted to give Carlos Narvaez the whole day off. And so, it's an issue right now. It definitely is.
All right, Chris, what's the latest on second base and Marcelo Meyer? What do you think they do here? What happens? What are the options?
Yeah, so the options, I think that the most logical person, and Worcester just posted their Game 2 lineup right as I was taking this call. So I had initially thought that it would be if Marcelo's hurt. I mean, he's getting imaging done today. They haven't decided if he'll go on the IL. It's not certain. But I would think that the most obvious candidate would be the guy that spent the entire year pretty much on the team, except for the last couple of weeks, is David Hamilton. Whether you like him or not, whether you think he's a good hitter or not, let me look. He is not in the lineup for Worcester.
I was kind of hoping Grisham for some reason.
Grissom is in the lineup, and so he wasn't in the lineup of the first game, and he's playing shortstop and batting, there's a 5th in this game. And so I actually thought it'd be Grissom too. He has had a really good couple of months. He has looked good. But yeah, I think that they'll probably go with Hamilton if that's the case. If Marcelo goes on the IL.
All right, can you just get into a little bit of the aggressive managing last night from Cora? Did you like him going to Chapman in the 7th, something he's never done before the 8th this year? And I thought he'd be done after Harper. I think he left him in too long. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I like aggressive managing there. I think that, it's important to go. One thing that's really special about Mark Chapman as opposed to other closers, he doesn't care what role he's in, what inning, whatever. It doesn't have to be a save situation with him. When Craig Kimbrell was asked to take the 8th, he wasn't effective, and it just got to him. With a lot of closers, they can't do it. They can't do anything but that 9th inning, and he's been so flexible throughout his career. And so I like the aggressiveness of the bullpen. That's an area, though, like you look at it, and Greg Weissert had another blown save. Yes, I think he ended up with a win, but he ended up with another blown save. I believe that's his 4th blown save in the last month or whatever. I don't know. But he's not as effective right now. That's the other area that I would spot in terms of trade deadline is that if he's going to be aggressive like that last night, then there's a reason for it, right? There's that he doesn't have guys that can step up in certain roles. And so I look at it and I think that they should definitely look for a power 8th inning type guy, to set up Chapman. And that might happen if, you look at it and if they can't get a starting pitcher. I know that it's been mentioned on this station before. I think I've heard. I think Jared Carrabis brought it up, and it's been criticized, the whole super bullpen type thing.
Super pen. Yes.
Yeah, super pen. I heard it the other day, so I didn't hear Jared bring it up, but I heard somebody on your station talking about it and kind of being like, the super pen, like they need a starting pitcher. However, Ryan Brazier did start an elimination ALDS and NLDS game for the Dodgers last year, who ended up winning a World Series. And so if you can load up with some bullpen guys, if the starting pitchers are too much and not available, or, just cost too much, or you're not, you're getting somebody that isn't controllable for another couple of years, it's just too much money, then it's not a bad idea, because the Dodgers showed last year that you can have a extremely good bullpen and pitch bullpen games in the playoffs and win.
All right, Chris, let's just say we're sitting somewhere in Essex getting some fried clams, all right? And
What's that?
Let's just say we're in Essex getting fried clams somewhere, all right?
All right.
You choose wherever you go, all right? I'll pay. All right, but real quick, if I said to you, hey, what should the Red Sox fans' expectations be at the deadline? Like, what I have an expectation, but I want to know what do you want to prepare Red Sox fans for regarding this trade deadline?
I think that the expectation should be, especially after trading Rafael Devers and saying that they could be a better team than they were with him, that when you make that kind of comment and that statement from Craig Breslow, you should go out and you should get a second, if you need a number 2 starter behind Crochet, that's what you get. You've got to go out and make those moves. And Craig Breslow has been, you've got to credit Craig Breslow, right? Like, he's had some guts, right? Like, he's had guts to trade away Devers, the trade of Garrett Crochet, trading, Braden Montgomery and Kyle Teal in that deal. Those were two of your top 5 prospects. And so he has had some guts. Not many people would trade away Rafael Devers in his prime and get the kind of blowback that he did. So I would not be surprised at all if he went and got a number 2 starter. He's been aggressive, and I would not be surprised at all. However, with the way that the market is, and how many teams are going to be selling, let's say, because it's, the 2 wild cards and, the 3 wild cards, and the 3 division winners. There's a lot of teams still in it because of how many playoff spots there are. And so you're going to have few subs. So the demand is going to be there. The supply isn't. And so the supply is going to be extremely expensive. So I would think that realistically, they will do some stuff to improve this team. Whether they go out and get a number 2 starter like a Joe Ryan, Keller, anybody like that, I don't know. But I think that they will go out and improve. I think they will go out and get another bat to play first base. Josh Naylor. You look at Ryan O'Hearn from the Orioles. Those are 2 left-handed bats that you could pair with a Romy Gonzalez, who's a right-hander. It would be a perfect fit, like in 2018 with Steve Pearce, coming in and being the right-handed bat to Mitch Moreland's left-handed bat. So I think they will go out and get, but I don't know the level that they're willing to trade for. And I think it's going to come down to the last day of the trade deadline. Some teams have been aggressive in the past. Dombrowski teams have been aggressive where they've traded for guys a week before or even a month before. I think that with the way demand is and everything right here, I think the teams are going to wait it out and wait till the final hour of this trade deadline.
All right, Chris, I've been asking people on the show tonight. I wanted to get your opinion. Who reached more people, Ozzy Osbourne or Hulk Hogan?
No, that's a good question. Oh, man. Probably Ozzy Osbourne.
That's what I said, too.
Because I was never a wrestling guy. Sorry for the wrestling people out there.
Okay, no, but you know who Hulk Hogan is.
I know who Hulk Hogan is, though. Yeah. But is wrestling big in other countries? I don't know.
It is now. Maybe in 1985 it wasn't, right?
Yeah.
But now in 2025 it's it's all over the country.
That was the one wrestler I knew growing up was Hulk Hogan, obviously. But Ozzy's just insane. I was just actually listening to Felger the other day. They were talking about Ozzy and how he ate a bat bit a bat head off of something like that. I never even knew that story. That is totally disgusting. And bats have rabies, and that is just appalling. But it's Ozzy Osbourne. If you ever watched that show that he did with his family, and I did watch it back in the day, he was crazy.
Yeah, and I went to Catholic school. They were like, "He's the devil," and I was like, "No, he's great." And he was.
Yeah.
I just, what a again. I'm 43, man, so I was a child of the 80s, early 90s, and man, I had 3: Malcolm Jamal Warner, the Cosbys, Ozzy, and Hogan. Man, I'm having a tough week.
Yeah, I'm 41, and I really liked, Malcolm. That Cosby Show. He was my favorite, my favorite character in that.
He was Theo.
Yeah, he was awesome. That's a tough one right there too.
All right, bro. Well, it should be an interesting weekend at Fenway, huh?
Yeah, no Ohtani, maybe no Mookie Betts. He's got some personal things that he's dealing with. I don't think it's going to be Friday so maybe he comes in Saturday and Sunday. I don't know, but yeah, it should be an interesting weekend.
All right, he's Christopher Smith, everybody. Smitty on baseball. Enjoy the weekend. Hopefully you get some good interviews, and appreciate your time, my man. We'll talk down the line.
All right, sounds good. Thanks.
Got it. He's Smitty on baseball. Christopher Smith of Mass Live. They do an awesome job over there. I want to shout them all out. Ozzy and Hogan. Wow.
Joe, there is a name that is off the board for the Red Sox. We have a trade in the MLB.
Whoa, did you put this in our little chat here? All right, well, let's do it in headlines.
Sports Hub Headlines, presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Yes, Purse Gas there on the tees. The Mariners are acquiring first baseman Josh Naylor from the Arizona Diamondbacks. No word yet on what the return is, but Jeff Pass and ESPN. Mariners have acquired first baseman Josh.
It's Joe Murray on the Sports Hub.
We're back on Get Up. I am speechless. I don't know how to put into words how frustrating I am or frustrated I am to read to you what I'm about to read to you. From New York Jets training camp, quarterback Justin Fields has been carted off the field and taken to the locker room after being pressured on an incomplete pass. He has an apparent leg injury. He walked on his own power after getting back inside the facility. Our Jets reporter Rich Cimini is on the ground at Jets camp. He tweeted out a significant update, quote, Fields limps off the field after being pressured on an incomplete pass under the tent with a trainer. Adam Schefter is also saying Fields is now being carted off to the locker room. The tone of all of the tweets that I am seeing from the people who are there make it sound like this is something bad. And I turn to others to speak on my behalf because, quite candidly, if I were to speak right now, I don't know how well that would go for anyone. It is the first freaking day of practice, and Justin Fields, they're not even in pads, and Justin Fields is being carted off the field as I have been touting all this time. This is going to go so well. The Jets are so much better than everybody thinks they're going to be. And all of a sudden, Justin Fields is being carted off the field at a practice. Who are you talking to over there? Kmart, get on the phone and find out what's happening.
Guys, this is about people that work for ESPN that are homers about New York sports teams.
Is that allowed?
Well, I don't know. I mean, Stephen A. Smith does it. He's everywhere. So now I got Greeny having a panic attack about the quarterback while Get Up's on. Like, all of a sudden we have famous people who make lots of money showing their fandom. It's just, it's getting a little ridiculous that ESPN's hiring homers. Sorry. No, is it allowed? It shouldn't be. Bias. Unbiased.
You think the 2 to 6 is going to stop playing Greeny sound and Stephen A. Smith sound because of their homerism?
No, I don't think they are. No.
Heavy critics of that, though.
No. You hurt his toe?
It's odd how that works.
His toe, you hurt.
Carted off for a toe.
For a toe.
Yeah.
A toe?
Yeah.
I wonder how that toe tastes. I don't want to know. I just am wondering. For those that love feet, toe. Carted off for a toe. That's the Jets quarterback this year. I have a lot of rookie cards from him on the Bears.
Who's the backup there? Is it Tyrod Taylor?
Tyrod Taylor, baby.
Solid backup. Just don't let the medical staff near him.
So over that people who work at ESPN, like, imagine if Jalen Brunson went down, what would happen? If it was live on TV, what would happen?
Hysteria. Mass hysteria. Don't hear a lot of criticisms of that, though.
I don't.
It's interesting.
I don't want to criticize it. It's just it wasn't about Fields. It was about them. Why am I feeling that way? Because they are homers, right?
Get Nick right. Does he ever talk about his Chiefs fandom? Is he ever over the top about his Chiefs fandom?
You know what? Well, he kind of defended the fat Mahomes thing, didn't he?
Yes, but I think, he is effusively over the top with his praise for the Chiefs. It's just weird how, it bothers you sometimes and other times. It's very convenient, who's allowed to have their fandom and who isn't.
Definitely just the ESPN stuff. But anyways, Josh Naylor traded from Arizona to Seattle. Looks like Seattle gave up 2 prospects. Brandon Garcia and Ashton Izzy. They're headed to Arizona. I don't know anything about them. So 2 prospects for a first baseman. Sound like a lot? Well, I'll go to Tyler Milliken's Twitter handle in a few minutes to get the breakdown on the trade. Justin Fields hurt his toe, and everyone's freaking out. You believe that? Still waiting on that Drake May MRI from last year. All right, let's go to break. I'm Joe. Oh, we got in or out, next here on the Sports Hub.
What's it gonna be, McFly? Are you in or out?
Don't.
I'm the one you need for a dirty deed. I'm the best success. Kevin's intern. Why do I keep calling him Kevin? But Kevin Pumfret, he's been texting me all day. Kevin Pumfret, our old intern Kevin, has been texting me for a week about deaths. Whenever I hear from him, I'm like, who died? Is that who he is now to me?
Is he the Reaper? Is he the new Reaper?
Is he like the ghost of Joe's past?
I hear from Pumfret, a couple times a week.
That's
too,
right. I do hear from him.
I love hearing from him. Yeah.
Katie, I feel like I'm seeing every day. I saw Chris yesterday.
Saw Katie and Chris last night.
They're everywhere.
The interns. If you're Joe Show intern, not a bad pipeline if you're looking out there,
You need a bump, baby.
We got 2 ready for the fall already, but, maybe over the winter somebody's looking. You never know.
All right. Well, it's in or out tonight. What do we got? By the way, my ride here. Woo. Woo-hoo.
The musings ready to go?
I had to change my shirt because I was sweating so bad.
Your AC not working the car?
No. I was doing a lot around. I was doing a lot of moving today.
Yes.
Boxes and stairs, cleaning. And let's just say I was sweating in places you wouldn't even know you could sweat.
There's a tease for you. All right, Joe, a Thursday night edition of In or Out. Last In or Out of the week, as we have the Revs are back tomorrow. Maybe they'll get in the win column. It's been a while. But, Joe, we will start with college football. We had the college football boys here, the football boys here last night, so why not? Bill Belichick and UNC are debating going to the SEC. Joe Murray, would you be in or out on UNC to the SEC?
I filtered this out a couple of times, and all I can think of is when Boston College went from the Big East to the ACC, and it ruined them. It really did. It ruined their basketball program. So if we're going to talk about UNC, we better talk about their basketball program, right? Not their football. Now, would they all move, or would it just be football?
I think you got to do the whole thing.
That'd be the whole thing, right?
If you're UNC, yeah.
The SEC won the national championship last year, Florida, right? Arkansas's got John Calipari. Kentucky's a perennial. Alabama is one of the best teams in the country. Auburn went to the final. Right? Oh, no, they went to the Final Four. They lost to Houston.
Mississippi State was all right.
State,
yeah.
Texas A&M.
Oklahoma.
I'm just saying, oh, yeah. They get probably better recruits. Ooh. Hubert Davis.
Does UNC really need, do they need does UNC basketball need that? No.
No. The perennial ACC contenders. Is the Duke ACC, would that be over? Duke UNC? That would suck.
That would suck.
That's one of the best rivalries in all of sports.
100% agreed.
But if they went to football SEC, doom.
Smoked.
Doom.
That's Belichick setting up the program to
a little overrated. I do. But North Carolina in the ACC would be on Vanderbilt level. That's low. Unless Belichick's the almighty. Next.
All right, Joe. Sticking with college football, Fox Sports put out the top 10 college football coaches with the most to prove heading into the 2025 season. At number 1, Joe, James Franklin. Do you agree? Are you in or out? Are you in or out on James Franklin being the college football coach with the most to prove heading into the 2025 season?
Well, I'll just say in. You know why? He always does something stupid.
He is the definition of the can't win the big one coach. He can't win the big one.
Well, he's the next one now.
Yeah.
After
Ryan Day, I guess, had that for a little bit there.
You know who I would put on the list only a little bit is Brian Kelly at LSU.
Brian Kelly is number 8 on this list.
I think he's going to get... Skaz, I'm saying this to you on July, what's this, 25th?
24th.
I think Nussmeyers has a chance to be the Heisman Trophy winner this year.
You've been all over it.
I think he's got... When I say, he's got pro skills, and the guys last night were telling us about the wide receivers, I think he's got good mental makeup. Drew Aller probably has more skill, right, from Penn State. James Franklin, yeah, in.
Just for context, I'll give you the top 5 coaches with the most approved. Franklin at 1, Lincoln Riley 2.
Yeah.
Brent Venables 3.
So he's got a lot just because he's such a great defensive coordinator. Can he get his team to play offensively?
Mario Cristobal at 4.
Now, he signed a huge deal and lost Cam Ward, but just got dude from Georgia, right?
And Matt Rule at number 5.
So Matt Rule in Nebraska should take a step. I wouldn't put the pressure on him, though. He's not going anywhere. Franklin, yeah, dude. You got one more year of Drew Aller, who could have been a pro this year. You lose Warren, but can they just build around that? They still get their running back back. That Penn State should be back in the college football playoff. Can they win their conference? That's the Ohio State's still strong. Michigan's taking a step back. Yeah, it's Penn State, Ohio State. Can they beat Ohio State this year with all the turnover changes and everything? I'd still bet no. But that's why we're in on him having the most pressure.
All right, Joe, we'll head to NBC and the NBA for this one. NBC Sports has finalized their game analyst team and adds final play-by-play voice for NBA coverage this upcoming fall. It'll be Brad Daugherty, Derek Fisher, Austin Rivers, Robbie Hummel, and Brian Scalabrine joining as game analysts. Joe Murray, are you in or out on that cast for NBC's NBA coverage?
I do think Austin Rivers is very good.
I feel like I've heard Brad Daugherty before. I think he's pretty good.
Believe it or not, Brad Daugherty was like a star player for the Cavs when they played Jordan. Do you know that he ended up becoming a race car commentator?
I thought you were going to say driver for a second. I was going to say he's not big. He's too big.
7 foot tall. He's one of the most respected. I don't know if it's. I forget what racing. So forgive me. I believe it's NASCAR. But he's one of the best commentators going, and I mean he's a basketball commentator too. But
if you're a college basketball fan too, I think Robbie Hummel did a really good job.
Yeah, great player at Purdue. No, he's great. I love him. I think he's working for. And was he working for NBC during the final the college tournament?
Maybe. Yeah, I think he was doing the tournament games and stuff.
He's great.
Yeah, I think he's really good.
Oh, he's always had great makeup. Even as a player, he spoke well. So Brian Scalabrine.
Yeah, does that mean he's out for Celtics games, or do you think he can do both?
Well, it's the NBC umbrella. My only thing is I like consistency. Back in the day when Tommy Heinsohn was there, I used to love when Kuzi went, hey, Kuzi's here tonight. They didn't plan on it. He just wanted to be there, and they let him do it. I understand Tommy towards the end couldn't travel, and there was different guys. I don't think oh, man. I will say this. If it's not Scal, who would you want as color commentary?
Eddie?
They probably groom him for that, huh?
I think Eddie's done all right.
Well, Max.
Of course. I don't want to lose him, though. But I think Max is the best in the business. Then the people get to see what he's eating every night.
So it's probably Eddie House. PJ Cleesmo I still love.
I know. I think he does a great job, too, but I think he's like 74 years older.
Why would he want to do that full time? Eddie's probably the guy. He's not bad. I like Eddie because he's got swag and he tells. He's got a little homerism, but also, has pride. Like what I mean by pride is doesn't want someone to get punked, get back up, and kind of talks about it. It's probably Eddie House if they were, yeah. And on the cast, though, they did a good job.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Well, to the NFL for this one, Joe. Marshawn Lynch is set to executive produce a Seahawks documentary for Victory Sports called 12. The documentary, named for the team's fan base, will break down how football in Seattle survived a relocation threat and came back stronger than ever before. Joe Murray, are you in or out on a Seahawks documentary produced by Marshawn Lynch?
In. The hell are we going to get out of that? Skittles?
Hope we get some good, Sean Alexander, know.
I hope he's driving a golf cart.
Oh, there you go.
Did you ever see that?
Oh, yeah.
That's one of my favorite videos. I wish I could do that. I wish I could just ride a go-kart, or not a go-kart, a golf cart, just in between everybody on the football field after a game, just ho-hum. Man, he had swag, huh? Jeez, he should have played for the Ravens. What's his name? Beast Mode? Great nickname.
Yeah.
Were you
Beast
here
Mode.
for that night? I guess Barth and
Oh, yeah,
George.
I was here for that. It took 120 calls on a Friday night.
How do you feel about that?
Jake Seymour was here, so Jake was put to work that night.
Welcome. Hey, you want to fill in and help out? Put your ass to work, boy.
Yeah, I would have been getting my steps in that night if I was by myself. It happens.
I would have shut the phone.
You just block the lines.
Yeah. Anything else?
Yeah, sure. Why not, Joe? TikTok and the MLS are partnering up for a Messi live cam for every match. Yeah, there'd just be a camera on Messi for the entire match. You can watch it live on TikTok.
And listen, okay. Quick TikTok take. I
have a quick Messi take too after this.
I'm on TikTok. Like, I'm not a TikToker. I'm not one of these like influencer TikTok people. But when I post my content on TikTok, I'm posting it to people that might not be listeners to 98.5 The Sports Hub or sports fans in general. So, in this world that we're in, we know how people say, "Oh, I don't need to advertise." Do you know the amount of people that are on TikTok that you don't even know about? And what I mean by that is, it's really a place to solicit, but like be entertaining solicitations. So I doom scroll. It gives you an algorithm of the stuff I like, and it shows me, and I also can buy things if I want. But like TikTok has an audience, dude, of like, honestly, the radio business should be thinking about it. Everybody 16 to, they have a TikTok over 40, guess. Just set for over 40-year-olds.
That's kind of scary, but I think it's a good thing.
I just think it's completely, you know what it is so people are so used to, like, I don't use Threads. You ever do Threads?
Certainly not. I honestly forgot that existed,
I
Joe.
have Blue Sky, but I don't even use that.
Yeah, that really took off. Yeah,
I tried. But TikTok, man, I'm telling you, we're missing out. There's an audience there, and I think going live on TikTok, dude, I break cards on TikTok. And the audience there are people that think about the 98.5 The Sports Hub. For 15 years, this has been one of the top radio stations in the country, right? But locally, we have our listeners. The goal should be finding people that aren't our listeners. That's why we're on YouTube now. That's what TikTok is, and I think people are just they don't have time for it. It's too hard. It's too hard. I can't figure it out. I'm an old. Figure it out. What's your Messi take?
Yes, very quickly. MLS fans increasingly whiny and bitchy about Messi not playing in the All-Star game. Just shut up would be what I would say. Be happy that he's in your league. Be happy that people are paying attention. It's in some of the MLS reaction. It's like UFC fans or like MMA fans, how defensive they are and bitchy they get about people watching their sport, not watching. Just be happy the guy's in the league. It's done. You can't even comprehend how much money he's brought into the sport that otherwise wouldn't be there. So if you want to whine about him not being in the All-Star game, I think your league has much, much bigger problems than that.
All I wanted was Carlos Hill to go to be an All-Star. Do we have to really care about everything else? Do you care that Messi didn't play in the All-Star game?
There are a few things I care less about than that, Joe, yeah.
I don't.
Don't care.
Who won the game?
The MLS did.
Okay.
3-1, I believe. Now, would it be great for Messi to be there? Sure. But
was he there?
No.
Oh.
He's resting.
Yes.
Because he plays every game for them and is on the instead of him, taking nights off in New England on turf, take the All-Star break off. I'd rather him go around and fans see him. You know what I mean?
What a wicked yawn. Oh, this is clickbait.
Yeah. But it's not. That's the unfortunate part is these MLS fans are that whiny, that performative that they pretend to care about this.
So I look at it as clickbait. You're talking just that they're so like we see it, right? How many times you get tagged and we don't talk about the refs?
They're like MLS elitists.
What does I put that?
Crazy. It's like, do you want your sport to grow or not?
Hey, Messi's giving you the bump already. What, now you need him to play in a meaningless game when he's already playing well in meaningful games? Anyways, we'll hit the headline here. I'm Joe Murray, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
From the Telfair Times Studios, WBZ-FM and HD1. It's not just the games. It's Toucher and Hardy, Zolak and Bertrand, Felger and Maz, Joe Murray. For Boston sports fans, it's 98.5 The Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station. Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
All right, the Mariners have traded. They've made a trade. They acquired Josh Naylor from Arizona for 2 prospects, so 1 off the board. Ooh, a big league platter is being seen. What is this big league platter? Are those biscuits? Right, is that mac and cheese? No, it's French fries and hot dogs. Are those ribs? What is this? What is this sketch? You see this food thing on the... What is that up there? Is that Gabby Lapizza? Who is that up there? It looks like Dom steak. It looks like a Dom steak tip almost. What are we doing? Headlines. They are brought to you by Eastern Mass's leader in drain cleaning and pipelining. Drains by James. Slow drain, clog drain. You need to contact Drains by James today at drainsbyjames.com. I'm Joe Murray.
Come on, let's face it. Your summer barbecue, it's just training camp for tailgate season. And Patriots training camp is where the Sports Hub will be as the team gets ready for a new season with a new coach, Mike Vrabel. Keep it on the Sports Hub, and we'll keep you up to date with all things Patriots. 98.5, the Sports Hub.
We got Justin Barasso calling in next, or coming on with us. Justin Barasso is a... combat fighter, journalist, UFC, wrestling, one of the best in the business. Sports Illustrated. Heard the news today about Hulk Hogan, and I figured since we got Justin Barasso coming up next, and I just mentioned the John Cena heel turn. The John Cena heel turn is the second greatest heel turn of all time, and I'm going to say the reason why is the Cena heel turn was a shock. It was a swerve. It got me, and, I never thought it would happen, and to be honest, I'm really glad Cena's doing it because I think it's made an impact, and his heel turn is not so much that he's a bad guy, it's that he's mad at the fans. So it's like, it's a different kind of heel turn, where Hulk Hogan's heel turn, just the story behind it was Eric Bischoff, who was literally Hulk Hogan's best friend. It was Brutus the Barber Beefcake, but they had a fallout. But they wanted Sting to be the third man to go along with Kevin Nash and Scott Hall, who you guys will know as Diesel and Razor Ramon. And it was supposed to be Sting. And Hogan goes, "You know what, brother? I want to be the third man."
Go get him, Hulkster! Yeah, but whose side is he on? What are you talking about? Whose side is he on? What are you talking about? Yes, sir! Get him, Hogan! Go get him, baby! Come on and get some of this now. Who's bad now, boys? Hulk Hogan arrived. Hulk. What is he doing? My God! Is he the third man? He's the third man! What the hell is going on here? Hulk Hogan has betrayed WCW. He is the third man. Look at this picture. Oh, my God. What the hell is going on? Oh, my God. Are you kidding me? Probably the lowest shot ever given to professional wrestling. That man did right there, Hulk Hogan. Let's get everybody out of the dressing room right now and kick his rear end. Unbelievable, brother. You just sold your soul to the devil. These years? Huh? What have I been saying all these years? Oh, my God. A career of a lifetime. It's right down the drain, kid. I hope you love it. Can you see just sold your soul to the devil. See those little Hulksters with the tears rolling down their face right now? We are not going to even acknowledge that 3 count. Now what happens to us? What happens now to WCW? There was no 3 count. I never thought I would say that he's yellow, but he may be wearing red, but he's wearing red and yellow. What do we do now? What a load. I'll tell you what. This is a unbelievable situation right here at Bash at the Beach. Hulkamania, the third guy with the outsiders, betrayed WCW. Can't talk.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5.
entertainers. From wrestling to movies to sports entertainment to your living room to literally all over the world. And when the news came down today, I was like, you know what? Why don't we talk to Justin Barasso, formerly of Sports Illustrated, now of The Undisputed. I get his Substack, and also of the Boston Herald, joining us here on 98.5 The Sports Up. Justin, how are you today, bud?
Thanks for taking the time to have me on. Tough day. I mean, this one hits a little bit differently.
You know, it's funny. I know you worked at, Sports Illustrated for over a decade, but we were talking about like our first moment earlier about Hulk Hogan and like our lasting moment. Both the Skaz and I's lasting moment is him getting booed. But my first moment was Rocky III and then the Andre. I wanted to ask you, like, what was your first moment of remembering, and I guess I should also ask, covering Hulk Hogan?
So it's interesting, the first memory, I mean, my mother showed us a picture today, my brother and I, in like Hogan sweatsuits. I don't know, we're under the age of 5, right? So he really did transcend pro wrestling. For the last, I'd say 9 years, I mean, I'd covered Hulk on a variety of stories, and I wouldn't say we would talk every week, but we would talk fairly consistently. And, Hulk was an interesting guy, or Terry was an interesting guy, and what he did with the Hulk Hogan character transcended pro wrestling. But I think what I'll always remember about Hulk Hogan is how much he loved pro wrestling and how much there's a reason, and you just talked about, you were kind of riffing about the NWO story, about how Hulk joined NWO. And originally, the only person that knew it was going to be Sting, it was Eric Bischoff and Sting were the only ones that knew that. And then Hogan called Bischoff and said, I want to talk to you. And he went out there, whatever film he was, or set he was filming on, and he said, I think I should be the third guy. And it went from there. And Hulk could be a bad guy because he grew up watching Ray Stevens and superstar Billy Graham and Pat Patterson. Hulk Hogan was a wrestling fan through and through, and he lived and breathed this stuff. So a lot of our phone calls, if we weren't doing a story, we're just talking about pro wrestling. And when he would drive Rocky Johnson to shows in his girlfriend's old Camino, things like that. I mean, that's what'll stick with me most. And really the crowd reactions. When you listen to a crowd reaction from the height of Hulkamania in the 1980s, or you listen to it with the New World Order in the 1990s. I mean, I'm a big Steve Austin fan, too, of his body of work. Austin did it once. Hogan did it twice. There's no one like him, Joe.
So, Justin, we always talk about when someone passes, is it too soon, right? Like, I think that Hulk Hogan, the character, should be just glorified today for what he did for the business, what he literally made. Like, think about what it was, what it is today and what it was then. He was the reason. I know there's others who were supporting cast members. He was the reason. But you mentioned that you had a lot of talks with him about the business. But, I always look at when you're in the business, how other people think of you. And how did Hogan feel? Or Terry feel, I guess, because, right, it was always, with him, it was, who is he, right? Who is he, Terry or Hogan? But how did he feel about others, later on? And, I know there was some personal issues. He had comments that some people didn't like. Some people said that, he always had to get over because of his creative control. Did he ever talk on those things? Like, what are his feelings, or what were his feelings on, always being the guy who kind of had creative control?
What with Hulk made him special was the storytelling. Where was the story going next? So I think that's the reason you look back at SummerSlam 93, why he didn't wrestle Bret Hart. There was nowhere for the story to go after SummerSlam, right? If Hulk was leaving, and Bret could have pinned him in a variety of ways. He didn't take the sharpshooter finish. But for Hulk, it was always, where does the story go next? Plus, I think a lot of guys that maybe were upset that Hogan didn't put them over, Vince and Hulk, and to a extent, Eric Bischoff, there was a formula. And there's a reason that in 93, Hulk still thought he could make money with Giant Gonzalez. It's Hulk worked giants, right? Like that, or big guys, or a Goldberg type when he was a heel, or when Hulk was Hollywood. In terms of, he was hurt in January when he got booed. And we spoke after that. And, it was interesting because even you just said it, Joe, was I talking to Hulk or talking to Terry? But one of our last calls, he talked about how it was going to be really good. It was almost like a heel turn again in January, and how it was going to do numbers for the beer sales, the Real American Beer. So I don't know, where did the one character end and the man stop, or the man start and the character end? I don't know, but he was always thinking about what came next, and I think that's a critical piece of his story.
We're talking with Justin Barasso. He covers UFC, sports entertainment, wrestling as well. Obviously, we're talking about the passing of Hulk Hogan today at the age of 71 to cardiac arrest. Just when you look at the rivalries, a lot of people on social media today validated Hulk Hogan as the most, the guy who changed the business. He got his flowers today from everybody, from Ric Flair to The Undertaker to Stone Cold Steve Austin, his old friend Brutus the Barber Beefcake, who indicated he always wished he could make amends. Just looking at what others have said about Hulk Hogan, I think he got his flowers today. But, I wanted to ask you, though, there was Hogan Andre. There was Hogan the Rock. I remember as a kid the title on Ultimate Warrior versus Hulk Hogan. Like, I think about his TNA run, which wasn't bad really at all. I think about Vince Russo. In your opinion, when do you think it was at its absolute height?
So I'll always defer to Hogan Savage on that one, Joe.
Ooh, I didn't even mention him. Didn't even mention that.
Yeah, I love the Mega Powers and the Mega Powers exploding and lust in his eyes and the blow up at Mania, which they'd done similar stuff, right, in terms of a best friend turning on Hogan, which they did with Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. But I think that Warrior was special, like you said, Andre. I loved Hogan Earthquake. I mean, we're dating ourselves, right? But I thought Hulk Rock at Mania. I mean, WrestleMania is WrestleMania because of Hulk. He was the driving force behind it. And I love the story at WrestleMania 18. They did a walkthrough, and Hogan didn't do walkthroughs, right? And The Rock's worried that it's not going to go right. And there's Rocky Johnson, who was like second row. This is, again, the walkthrough. And Rock yelling, "Listen to Hogan. Dwayne, listen to Hogan." And if your dad you'd be irritated, right? So like Rock's annoyed, Hogan's eating it up, and like stories like that I always loved. But yeah, I think that my favorite Hulk Hogan storyline was with Randy Savage, but a close second. And Joe, just the era was different. It didn't end necessarily on pay-per-view like it does now, or premium live events. But I thought Hogan and DiBiase, just you had your, again, character-wise, Hogan's the all-time babyface, stands for everything that's right and pure. Say your prayers, eat your vitamins. And then you've got the $1 million man, Ted DiBiase, who thinks he can buy anybody off. Like, what a great juxtaposition. What a great contrast. So I never thought that Hogan DiBiase got their just due, only because it didn't end in a pay-per-view.
Yeah, one other one you mentioned not ending in a pay-per-view. I'll never forget him and Sergeant Slaughter when Slaughter went heel. And after an event, it was on pay-per-view. I'll never forget it. A fireball came at Hogan. And it just went, that's it. I had to wait to watch Monday Night Raw or Saturday or whatever it was. But I went to school the next day being like, dude, is Hogan okay? And just to share another story, our buddy Bird, literally when the earthquake thing happened, if you remember, you could send a letter to Hulk Hogan, right? Because he was going to be out. Literally sent a letter. Like, that's how polarizing this man was.
And I think in some ways, Terry became a victim of Hulk's success, but obviously they didn't see this coming. I mean, you pay your respects. He had a lot of business endeavors, the Real American Freestyle, the beer, the new restaurant he was a partner with and out across from Madison Square Garden. So, yeah, I mean, it was nice to see all the tributes today. I think he knew his place in pro wrestling. I think Hogan certainly knew that, and he knew who his friends were too. He'd been through the fire a couple times, so I think he knew who had his back and who didn't. But, yeah, it's a big loss, and I'm not sure I can think of a bigger one in pro wrestling.
Yeah, I made a joke earlier that, man, Hulk Hogan couldn't even let Ozzy Osbourne go over.
It's true, though, right? And what are the odds that someone said this to me, or a good buddy said this to me today, like, what are the odds that Flair outlive Hogan? But Flair's got 9 lives, so happy the Nature Boy's still here. But, yeah, I mean, just it's too bad that it ended the way it ended on that Raw booze. But, Joe, it's like, what's the quote? If you live long enough, you ultimately become the villain. So I think that Hulk knew who had his back, and he was always appreciative for those who did.
Can you just speak on the relationship of Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan? Because, as a kid, I'm 43, so as a kid, it was WWE, but I would watch the 605 wrestling on TBS, and I loved Ric Flair. Like, Ric Flair wasn't as big. He looked good. He always took the beating and then came out in the end. And, oh, man, did I at one point think he was the champ. That gold belt, baby, that thing to me was, ooh, that's pretty. So I always kept Hulk Hogan number one, but it kind of changed for me. Maybe 96, I don't know. The Ric Flair Royal Rumble was a different thing too, but just about their relationship, it never happened, right? We never got in their prime Flair versus Hogan, but was that all kayfabe? Were they friends? Was there friction? Can you talk about their relationship?
So I actually want to do a book on this. We'll see, my 1001 book idea. But I think if you did a book between the years of 91 to 94 on the Flair-Hogan dynamic, there was always mutual respect and a competitive nature between the two because, like you said, Hogan was nationwide. He was the first to break that nationwide barrier, the first to break that global barrier, where Rick knew he was the better wrestler. But Joe, does that matter? And I think that was the catch. Rick comes over in 91. He wins the Rumble in 92. It looks like they're building to WrestleMania 8, Hogan Flair. They pivot and do the double main event, which makes sense because Hogan's leaving. So what's coming next? He wasn't going to lose to Flair at Mania if he was leaving. You had the Flair Savage match, Hogan Sid. They ended up doing Bash at the Beach in WCW to huge numbers. That was the biggest. It's so interesting because the pay-per-view, the Steamboat Flair one that spring was a much better card, but the buy rates, people wanted Hogan Flair. So they did that a few times in WCW. And I think that's one of Vince McMahon's biggest wrestling mistakes, never running that at a WrestleMania when you certainly could have. But they, I think, could relate in a way that very few could. Hogan and Flair. They had I think that was the bond that kind of kept them going. Rick talked about today. He was there praying for his son. He was praying for Rick when Rick was near death. He lent Rick money. Their relationship went a lot deeper than met the eye. And I think that's the Hogan story, Joe. There was always more behind the story.
All right, we're talking with Justin Barasso. Give him a follow. The Undisputed. I subscribe to your Substack, so I get it every week. And how literally on time and with the Goldberg retirement match, you wrote an article, 2 days ago, about Goldberg's last match and his match with who? Hulk Hogan. Tell us about that interview and what did Goldberg have to say?
Yeah, Bill Goldberg, all these years later, and we didn't know the extent. I think you kind of knew Hulk wasn't doing well, but we didn't know the extent of it. Goldberg still highlights that as the moment that changed his career when he beat Hogan in the Georgia Dome on Nitro. And it was a critical moment for him that in the wrestling war. I know after the fact it hurt WCW because they didn't have anywhere to pivot after that. But that was a major moment. And Goldberg still respects that. Hogan made him look great. I love the line from Bill that he thinks Hogan was messing with him for putting the icy hot under his armpit. Because remember the Goldberg jackhammer, his armpit would have been right in his face. But yeah, I mean, it's to go back to what you said when you were talking with Skaz earlier, like that NWO story, like there was some kind of allure to what happened behind the curtain with these guys too. And the great Hogan story, we did this. It was a 25-year anniversary story for the NWO. And that's when I was at Sports Illustrated. But Hogan said the moment he walked out, and you just played the clip, Bobby's yelling, "Whose side's he on?" Mm-hmm. Hogan thought he gave it away because he's wearing his cowboy boots. And he said, "Man, brother, there's nobody that's going to believe I'm wrestling because I'm in my cowboy boots." And if you notice, he has to grab the ropes before he does the leg drop because they're so slippery. So just little things like that I always thought was interesting as a fan and as a writer covering pro wrestling. But again, I can't think of anybody with the impact. And Steve Austin's my second because Steve just made such an impact at the hottest point of the 90s. But again, Hogan did it in the 80s. Hogan did it in the 90s. And in terms of a guy who was in love with pro wrestling, Terry Bollea grew up a wrestling fan through and through.
Yep. Played music before he got into, I believe, before he became a full-time professional wrestler. Just a couple other things. The Cena heel turn. Is it coming to an end? Are we starting to maybe see Cody changing from a babyface to a heel? And clearly Hogan's heel turn's the best of all time. Do we have a chance to, will Cena's rank up there as well?
So we spoke, Hulk and I, maybe 2 days after the Cena turn, maybe a day. No, it was 2 days because it was a Saturday night event. And he said it was great. He just said, we'll see how they follow up. The Cena follow-up struggled in those first couple of months, Joe, I thought. I thought it was more Bob Backlund than it was, and that's a little unfair to John, but it's gotten better. I think with the Randy Orton match, and from that point on, it's been a lot better. Just the lack of continuity with The Rock at WrestleMania, it really hamstrung John, I thought. SummerSlam, people who are in the know keep telling me that Cody's going over. Cody's going to win the belt back. Until I see it, I don't believe it. I won't believe it. I don't think Cody's turning heel. I think they have a lot more meat on the bone with Cody as a babyface. He's so popular. I think you really have to wait on that. Plus, we just saw the turn with Cena. John's leaving in December, which I truly believe that he's going to stick to his word on that. But I don't know. I don't know what you do with Cena unless, and here we go again, unless you bring The Rock out at SummerSlam and you have The Rock maybe turn on Cena. I don't know. I still think Cena wins at SummerSlam and they extend that storyline. But it's good that they have us guessing because that's a fun match, Cody Cena. And I love that it's a street fight. And that obviously opens there's going to be, there will be interference in that match. I'm sure just for the hell of it, there'll be a ref bump because we can't go through a main event anymore. Ref getting knocked out. So I still think Cena wins it. Randy Orton turns on John Cena, but that'll be an interesting one. That'll be a time will tell.
I just like the symbolism of using the belt, like Cena won every match with that. And then Cody did it the other night. So I'm just following the breadcrumbs there, and not to mention the sunglasses that he was wearing were very similar to one that the Rock wore. Just one UFC, question for you. Dustin Poirier had his last match. He lost. Where does he rank amongst the UFC greats, and what's the latest on Jon Jones?
I'm a huge Dustin Poirier fan. He's one of the best to do it. I mean, I think that there's a few guys that he couldn't beat they're right in front of him. But in terms of the modern day UFC superstar, could fight often, could do it in spectacular fashion, did things the right way in the cage, like Dustin. And I personally, Joe, I think Dustin comes back.
Wow.
When you're that good, and he's just still elite. And I think if he got the right fight, when he gets the right fight, I think you'll see Poirier back in the cage. In terms of Jon Jones, you've got to I'm not sure the White House card happens just because of security. And there's so many, I think President Trump did a huge favor to UFC and Dana White mentioning that when they're in the midst of a media rights negotiation. Who wouldn't want the White House card? So I don't know if that happens. In terms of Jon Jones, you got to make him kind of like Bill Belichick used to do with his players, eat some humble pie. Jones just put them through hell by not fighting Tom Aspinall. Really put the whole heavyweight division, set it in backward motion. So I don't blame Dana for answering the question the way he did, that he couldn't trust John. He's not reliable. But the problem is, if Tom Aspinall beats Cyril Gane, if Tom Aspinall, let's just say, beats Derek Lewis too, then what? There's just such a lack of stars at heavyweight. You're not bringing back Brock Lesnar. I don't think at his age you'd need Jon Jones. So I still think if they do the White House, we'd see Tom Aspinall, Jon Jones, but you got to make John earn it from here to there.
He's Justin Barasso, everybody. Check him out. Boston Herald, Undisputed. Go subscribe to his Substack. It comes right to your email. I get it every single time you post an article, Justin. And love your work, man. Love hopefully I'll see you. A bunch of stuff going on at Kowloon this summer, my man. We got Cardona show. We got the Hardys. There's a lot going on. Our Truth is coming to town. We got the Kowloon 75. I mean, it's going to be the Kowloon summer.
I can't wait to see you. Appreciate you guys having me on. Nice chance to pay respects to a pro wrestling legend, and Nice to do it with you guys as well.
Yeah, we got to get more Justin Barasso on the show, Justin. I got to get you on more. So that's a Joe problem. So I'm going to make sure. Hopefully, there's some Petrillo's Champions gift cards in the mail for those.
I was at Diorsi's this afternoon. I thought of you.
I was at Diorsi's the other day. I got the Italian poo-poo platter when I went in there. Do you know what that is?
I've seen it on the menu, but I've never heard.
It's meatballs, eggplant, chicken parm, and I believe raviolis and you got to order the ziti on the side. But just imagine an Italian poo-poo platter. It is unbelievable.
It's a slice of heaven, I assume.
Place is amazing, Diorsi's. All right, he's Justin Barasso. Everybody go check out. Go subscribe to Undisputed. Justin, appreciate it, man. Well, hopefully I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Thanks, Joe. Looking forward to it.
You got it. Justin Barasso, everybody. Great work. One of the best in the business when it comes to covering UFC, combat sports, and professional wrestling. We'll take a quick break. We'll get the headline here. I'm Joe Murray.
Sports Hub headlines. Presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
All right. What is going on? Well, there's no Red Sox tonight. The Patriots had day 2 of training camp. No Jalen Polk there. How about Christian Wilkins got released from the Raiders? Now he's available. What's going on with that? J.D. Davison out? What's up with that? We'll get into that. And Hulk Hogan's gone. No longer with us, 71. All right, back here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Thanks to Justin Barasso. That's a big get for I'm friendly with him. But as far as the business goes, he is one of the best, if not the best, when it comes to covering combat sports. Poirier had his last fight last week. He went for the trilogy, but lost to Holloway. I think there's UFC's at 3:00 on this Saturday, Skaz. So if you, that's a good little betting fix, huh? 3:00 on a Saturday. You know, that's. I will say this. I know enough to be dangerous when it comes to talking UFC. But am I going to say, like, you know how you talk about MLS people being like, I'm not. That's not me. I just know enough.
We have a couple UFC guys in the building too.
Kyle with the good hair.
And Garvin. Garvin is the great. He knows everything. Him and both of them are big UFC guys.
Cattles used to be a pretty big UFC guy back in the day. So I mean, like I said, I like to watch him late. I used to have a habit of just betting the underdogs and the undercards, and it would cash. I'm talking big ones like 400, 500 plus 500s. So you could go like 2 and 8, but be plus money. You know.
But I don't know if you've ever had this problem. But my problem with UFC is the first time I ever watched it was in high school, 2011, 2010, somewhere in there. A buddy got one of the pay-per-views, and it was Robbie Lawler versus Andy McDonald. And now, 2025, 13, 14 years later, whatever it is, you Google the greatest MMA fights of all time. Lawler McDonald is, widely considered number 1 or 2 on every list. So it's almost like, I don't want to say it got ruined for me, but the first night I ever watched it, it was as good as it's ever been. So now it's like they need a star. I feel like they need a name.
The biggest issue for them is that it's hard for people to stay on top. Like, let's use Ronda Rousey for an example. She was a huge star. One kick from Holly Holm.
Done.
She was done. Right, Amanda Nunes was a stud for a long time, but now Valentina is the top. Zhang right now is, one of the top women fighters. But once you get down the list a little bit, it's not great. Tom Aspinall's right now top heavyweight, but it's just really hard for UFC fighters to stay on top. I think that's why it's hard to watch the sport, but I also think that's what's great about the sport, because there's always someone new up and coming that you can root for. Let's go. We're going to do the musings. We'll push it back a little bit. Let's talk to Jason. He's in Derry. Hey, Jason.
How you doing, guys? I'm 46 years old, so I was a huge Hulkamaniac back in the day. Had like the yellow and red headband. Did all the poses and stuff like that. Saw him pick up the Giant in WrestleMania 3. I thought his promos were unbelievable. And then the old Garden back in the day, my old man, it was before 89, so I had to be 10 at the oldest. My old man took me on the floor at the old Garden. That night we saw The Sheik, we saw Nikolai Volkov, we saw Tony Atlas, Snuka, Junkyard Dog, Ricky the Dragon, and Jake the Snake. And the main event that night was Hogan and Macho Man versus Adrian Adonis and George Amos Steele.
The Mega Powers.
And then the highlight of the night for me that night was we were in the concourse. I'm like getting popcorn or a hot dog or whatever, facing the counter, and like all of a sudden you hear this commotion, and it's just like Hogan comes walking through the concourse with like some quasi security. I couldn't contain myself. I bounced and I was able to touch a 24-inch python.
Whoa!
Yeah, I haven't washed my hands since that day.
Jason, dude, I've never met Hulk Hogan.
Well, I didn't meet him either. I just grazed him.
No, I know, but I go to WrestleMania every year. I've been to WrestleCon. He did go to a Market Basket, but Bird tried to go, but I didn't. Robbie Roadsteamer cut me off. Thanks, man. That actually, Skaz, have you watched any of the Robbie Roadsteamer stuff?
I've seen some of it, yes.
What did he? I forget what he called himself. Oh my God, it was so good. What was it? Oh my God. Oh, if I'm Fred and Hardy tomorrow, you got to get Robbie Roadsteamer with Hogan. And, of course, Robbie Roadsteamer in his most, what's the word? Sorry, I'm just laughing thinking of Robbie going up to Hulk Hogan. Oh, it was so good. He said he was. I'm not getting political here.
It's a little yeah, I just pulled it up. A little political.
He called it the MAGA powers.
Yeah.
All right, that's it. That's enough. Let's go to break. You're listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. On the way.
A little walkthrough of a day. What did they call it? I wrote it down. Maybe I should look it up. They called it the Profit Day. Christian Wilkerson, could be some profit there. He's going to get released by the Raiders, and he's going to make money, too. Now he's a free agent. Josh Naylor traded from Arizona to Seattle, so a Red Sox target off the market. He was traded for 2 prospects. J.D. Davison released from the Celtics. He was the G League MVP, and Hulk Hogan passed away today at the age of 71. Cardiac arrest. Headlines, they are brought to you by Celsius Energy Drinks. Refresh your energy with 0 sugar essential vitamins and proven ingredients. I'm Joe Murray.
To us, Boston pride runs deep.
I'm a Bostonian!
This is Boston's home for sports.
Bow, bow, bow!
98.5, the Sports Hub.
Unrelated to sports, so sit back, relax, and get your mind in the game and listen to the words of a grown man complaining.
It's just, Twitter is not a news source.
It's an aggregator.
And I just would like to remind people of that. I was thinking of Hulk Hogan stuff today. I'm a huge collector. And I'm a collector of Hasbro wrestling figures. They came out in 88, 89, 90, 91, 92. So I posted a photo on Twitter today of all the Hasbros that I have of Hulk Hogan. And you might remember the Hasbro figures. They were these porcelain figures that had an action. So Hogan's was the Power Slam. He had another one where he had like the pythons. But I posted them all. I also had a LJN rubber figure of Hulk Hogan. But he has cards, guys, that go for big, big money. As far as the collector world, Hulk Hogan's one of the biggest collectors in the world. Like as far as like his merchandise.
What's like the
Holy Grail?
Like his bandana? A ripped shirt?
What would I want? Like a what do you?
Would you want the boots?
What do you call it? What do you call head?
The bandana, right?
Oh yeah, bandana. If I wanted a collector item of Hogan, what would it be?
Does he have the worst facial hair combo of any like famous person?
It was a Fu Manchu, which was very identifiable.
Yeah, but sometimes it was blonde. Sometimes he had the dark hair underneath and then the blonde mustache.
That's when he went heel with the dark stuff. But no, he has a. I'm trying to use the right word. Head rag.
It looks like a mop.
Okay, and then but you know that it's fake hair under it, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you did know that. You know who else does that? He wears a bandana. Is Every Rose Has a Thorn guy.
Oh, Brett Michaels.
Brett Michaels also has that.
Rock of Love, Joe. One of the great reality shows.
I just want to let you know I'm bald. I'm bald. You're not going to get any fixtures up here, bad boy. Like, I'm not going to make one up. Imagine trying to, like, hold the character of your hair. Like, LeBron's doing that.
Imagine you came in like, I know you're not here, but imagine you come in tomorrow night with a full head of hair and just act like nothing happened. Like you just came in with like a new rug and Costanza.
Maz.
And Maz comes in with like luscious locks looking like Fabio or something.
I hope the Supercuts people can laugh at this one, but I love the fact that he's the spokesperson for Supercuts.
Who, is it Fabio?
Maz.
Oh, Maz. I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah?
He's got some hair that needs
right
to be cut.
Right here on 98.5 Sports.
Yeah,
you know?
sure.
No, I bet you he gets it high and tight.
Yeah.
You know?
Sure.
No, it's a great sponsor. Thank you.
Great sponsor.
I would love a lineup if you want to hook me up. I love it. This thing ain't cheap, by the way. Do you know that? To manscape this bad boy.
Getting a haircut tomorrow, Joe. You know?
What's a haircut run you these days?
With tip, like $45.
Okay, I give 60. I think it's like 50 with a shave. I get charged for my eyebrows.
I make the girlfriend does the eyebrows.
My whole thing knows. Know what I got a baba who does my nose hairs.
I don't have that relationship yet. I don't know if my boy Mark's going to be doing that.
He's got a tool that like gets right up there.
I got one of those. Yeah,
I got one of those too.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work.
It's always better when they do it for some reason.
I got a beard oil thing and a whole. It's better when I go to the baba. That's another thing I can't say, not in a Boston accent. And that was a great bit with Luke last night. I go, no, that wasn't a bit.
Not a bit.
Do people think that this show's pretty authentic? I think if we say we're doing a bit, we're doing a bit. Everything's pretty authentic on the show. Remember Tupperware parties? I was talking to Big Jim about this yesterday, but he knew the show that I started on, and I was like, dude, I heard myself speak one day, and I was like, woof, I gotta do something about that. And the name that made me want to be like, I have to change this is Bartolo Colon. But when I said Bartolo, I couldn't believe how bad it sounded.
Bartolo.
I couldn't believe it. And that was the day I go, all right, time to lose this thing. What was I what were we gonna muse about? Oh, did you see the guy that played the lottery?
Yes.
Thought he forgot to place it and then placed the same number and won the lottery twice? Talk about your favorite mistake.
Yeah. I wish I had that kind of luck, Joe.
What do you got going on?
How about your ride in, Joe?
Okay, full transparency. I set up memorabilia stands. So, I have a big show on Saturday at Polar Park. Feel free to come by. I got 2 big tables of cards, memorabilia, Funko Pops. I have a Hogan signed. So I'm doing that this Saturday, but today I set up at a local fitness gym. And when I tell you it's hot out there, but guess what happens, guys? I brought tables outside to put into my car. I start driving down 95, and I'm like, all right, how am I going to do this? I realized I forgot the tables.
What's your job?
I had to go back. I set up tables.
What does she do for work, though?
Huh?
I think it's tables.
Tables.
Yeah, she does tables.
Tables. So yes, what is that from?
I think you should leave.
I think. Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Watching the driving class video or whatever.
Yes.
The lady's just freaking out about her tables.
My tables. What did she do? But yes, I left the tables, so I had to go back. And let me tell you, Peabody to Natick to Waltham, out.
No, that does not sound like fun. What time was it? Like 3:30, 4 o'clock?
Yep.
Oh.
So, I did order a sub on the way in. I was there at 7:42. No, 6:42.
I was gonna say.
And then getting up the garage, somebody stopped me and to talk to me. I get into the building and I had to change I could not come on with that shirt. So I had to change my shirt.
You were looking like the Arizona head coach Sean Miller there or whatever, just sweating through the shirt.
Yes, that's what I looked like. Yes. So then when I walked in, I heard Ryan Garvin doing a headline, and Jay Stu was literally on standby.
Oh, Stu looked at me and goes, I'm ready. He's ready. He's ready. Someone's late, Stu's hopping in that chair.
I used to be like that when I played baseball. Like, if the pitcher can't go tonight, I'm ready, coach. Like, do you want me to? I'm ready. Oh, I used to love to steal the thunder of the guy that was supposed to start. I loved that. I feel like Hogan. Is that where I got it from?
Maybe Joey Heels just coming in at the last minute.
He might not go tonight?
Yeah, a little turf toe.
I'm ready, baby. Oh, yeah, turf toe. All right. Well, what do we got for birthdays today? I haven't really even looked. Let's pop those bad boys.
I believe it's the greatest baseball player to ever live's birthday today, Joe.
Well, that's controversial. Who would that be?
It is Barry Bonds' 61st birthday today, Joe.
Oh, 61?
61 for Barry Bonds.
So Hulk Hogan died at 71 on the birth date of Barry Bonds, who turned 61. I'm just numbers.
Joe Math.
Numbers. Joe Math. Yeah, a little Joe Math there.
Joe, it is also J-Lo's birthday today.
Oh.
Would you like to guess how old Jennifer Lopez is?
J-Lo fan.
Jennifer Lopez is 56 years old today.
No way.
56.
She must be the most beautiful 56-year-old woman in the world. No, I honestly think J-Lo is she's like a fine wine. She's better with age. She had a great run as a hip hop singer. Jenny from the Block, remember that? Are you Ellie? No.
Joe, what if I told you that Jennifer Aniston and Mariah Carey are also 56 years old?
What year was that?
Joe, that would be 1969.
Nice!
Now, we went to the moon, Joe.
Are you following the numbers, or am I just like being an astronomer, whatever you call it? What do you call that?
I'm with you, Joe.
Astronomer number, whatever.
That's above us.
I'm too tired to think about that right now. But those numbers. You know who else's birthday it is today? Michael Richards Kramer from Seinfeld, who also had a fall.
I was going to say, him and Hulk Hogan.
Jeez.
It's a tough duo there.
Another Mount Rushmore of a-hole. God. Linda Carter, 74 years old today. Kristen Chenoweth, 58. Man, Jennifer Lopez. She's Spider-Woman?
I did not know that.
Oh, she's in the movie. Rose Byrne, 46. Elizabeth Moss, 43. Wow.
Kyle Kuzma?
Oh, who's he dating?
Oh, I feel like I did know this, but I can't think of it off the top of my head.
Anna Paquin, 43.
Rick Fox, also 56 years old today.
He got game. Former Celtic great. You know, if they kept him and Glenn Wesley and Brian Shaw and they still had Reggie Lewis, with McHale and Parrish. Anybody else?
Going in the Wayback Machine, Joe. Amelia Earhart, born on this day, 1897.
Love it. Kadeem Hardison, 60 years old. He was Dwayne Wayne on A Different World, which was very big during my childhood as well. Kyle Kuzma's 30, huh? When did he get drafted? Oh, Paul Ben Victor, 60. Carl Malone, the mailman. Yeesh.
Nick Nurse. Nick Nurse's birthday today.
Right. Don't be fooled by the rocks that I got. I'm still Jenny from the block. I used to have a little, now I have a lot. All I know is I know where I came from. Da-da-da-da-da-da. All right, Skess. Is that it?
That's all I got, Joe.
Well, let's look into this trade that happened today with Josh Naylor. What's that all about? We'll get into that next here on the Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5.
Major League Baseball Hall of Famer that was born on July 24th. Tommy. I don't know how that wasn't on the list of birthdays. But I believe he'll be a Hall of Famer, right? Everyone thinks? Mm-hmm. I think so. All right, there was a trade that went down. I haven't. So let's all do it together. Let's search Tyler Milliken. Tyler Milliken. There we go. Now give me the scoop, Tyler, on this trade for Josh Naylor, who, nope, he's got nothing on it. He's been, you know what? I know he just went to Pittsburgh for Mac Miller bobblehead night, which I've sat with him when he talked to me about Mac Miller. He loves Mac Miller.
He's a diehard Mac Miller guy. So much so, Joe, that as you just mentioned, he drove to Pittsburgh not just for the bobblehead, but to see the Pittsburgh Pirates play the Chicago White Sox. So that is dedication to the highest order. Is there a bobblehead of anybody that you would drive to Pittsburgh for? I don't think I'd drive to Pittsburgh for my own bobblehead, Joe.
If it was like a Troy Polamalu rail hair chia pet kind of thing, no.
You'd probably buy that online for $20.
No.
Yeah.
What would get me to go to Pittsburgh?
And this is not a slight at Pittsburgh. This is just, any distance that
let's
far.
Take out Pittsburgh.
Yeah, great city.
What would get me out of my chair? I don't know. I've always done the who would you want to smoke weed with thing. It's still Ric Flair and Mike Tyson.
Imagine the combos there. Both still with us.
I mean, I don't know if Willie Nelson's interesting to me.
He's putting you under the table.
But he's still going. So
yeah.
To it, whatever. But, with like a Shohei Ohtani patch autograph card, the first.
So I could resell it for thousands of dollars?
The first 1,000 people get a patch autograph of Shohei Ohtani.
People be camping out for days.
That might get me to move. No. But he has spoken to me about, hey, listen, he's younger than us, so the way I look at it is I laugh. But Mac Miller, was someone that he really related to.
Mac Miller was huge. He was.
And it was a little younger than me. I know who he was. I know he took his life. And
drugs, yeah.
Yeah, and, Tyler, people don't realize, he's a Brockton kid.
I think they're I have musicians, when you're younger, there's a musician that you're going through stuff you can relate to. Kid Cudi was like that for me. Dude, Wale was like that for me.
Have you ever heard of Aaron Lewis of Stained?
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, I know but the guy did so much drugs and it impacted his life that he had to relate, or just feelings of family and stuff. It's crazy. But yeah.
If there was a Lane Staley bobblehead night.
Oh, at Seattle Park. I just bought I have two of them. Somehow I bought two for some reason. I don't know how. But there was an Alice in Chains Jar of Flies 30th anniversary Funko Pops. I pre-ordered it for $80, and I didn't realize that I bought it twice. So I have two unopened Jar of Flies 30th anniversary Alice in Chains Funko Pops with Lane Staley. I wish it was that damn lottery ticket that I got twice. Anyways, with this Josh Naylor deal, what would have been the Red Sox comparison? So here it's Josh Naylor, who makes $3.8 million this year, and then is an unrestricted free agent. They gave up Brandon Garcia. He was the 13th. Who would be the 13th prospect? Let's go to Red Sox prospects. Who would be the 13th prospect for the Red Sox?
Miguel Blaze.
Who?
Miguel Blaze. Who's in it? That's a guy I've heard of.
Oh, you've heard of him.
I have heard of him. Outfielder. They got plenty of those, though.
So would the Red Sox would have had to give it up, I don't know, a Yoelin Cespedes?
That's their 10th prospect? I mean, maybe. But, if they're going to make a move at this deadline, they're giving up someone of that ilk, a Justin Gonzalez. But I don't know what. I think it could. Miguel Blaze, I think, is a good one because they have so many outfielders right now. And
they also had another pick, too, which was It was a 16th prospect. So who would be the 13th and 16th for the Red Sox?
Miguel Blaise and Nelly Taylor, both outfielders.
See ya.
See ya.
Ooh, you know whose cards I found today? Mikey Romero's. I bought first Bowman's. I didn't realize I had them.
He is number 8 for the Red Sox right now.
So he would be. I like him, but what position does he play? He's infielder.
Infielder, yeah. Shortstop, second base.
Yoelan Cespedes is probably somebody I'd move on from. I still like Blaze Jordan. I'd like to see him just get like a call-up. Do they still do call-ups? How do they work that now at the end of the year?
Yeah.
I forget how they do that.
Yeah, why not? Seems like David Hamilton's on his way tomorrow. And it doesn't excite you?
Why not Vaughn Grissom? Oh, he might not have an option, right? If they brought him up. I don't know. There's something about Grissom that I feel like he might be able to. Let's just say this. He's pretty consistent as a AAA player. Like, some guys are, like Bobby Dahlbeck still hits home runs in AAA.
Yeah, I feel like every day I'm seeing Bobby Dahlbeck,
Right.
AAA home run.
So, like, I think Grissom's better than that. They just really have him that far back. The other thing is they're working him out at first base, guys. So, like, in a way, he's almost a better option right now than Christian Campbell. Maybe they're just using Hamilton because they like the speed aspect. I don't know. But this trade that happened today, a first baseman off the board for the Red Sox. On the other side here, you know what I wanted to get into? Have you seen Forged in Foxborough at all?
I have.
The second one?
I've watched some of it, yes.
Okay. Something I wanted to get into that I thought was a little bit of a, let's just say that there's a lot of posturing going on in this one. We'll hit the headline, final headline of the night. I'm Joe Murray, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
All right, day 2 of Patriots camp saw Drake May with a lot of checkdowns on the day, a profit day, as they like to say. Some other NFL news: Christian Wilkinson released from Brandon Garcia, he's already 25 years old. Crochet and Bayo, 26. So a comp would be Hayden Mullins. What's he? What number? I think I have it still open. Hayden
18.
18. Okay, that's a good one, right?
Left-handed pitcher, Double-A right now.
So
he's 24.
If they were in on it, I would have rather have the 24-year-old. But again, I don't know the numbers. I don't know the what they think or any of that. So just wanted to bring up some of that when it came to the trade today. I did have a couple of things on Crochet that I wanted to get into, and I did want to just touch on that Forged in Foxborough for a second there. But this is what I had on, and I put this on our rundown. I don't know why I can't find it. Oh, Garrett Crochet's second half. Do you know that after his start this Saturday versus the Dodgers, he'll have pitched more innings in June and July this season than he pitched in August, September, and October in his entire career? Did you know that?
I knew it was something like that. I didn't realize it was quite that extreme.
He's a big boy. I believe in his ability scats as far as his strength. But you need insurance, right?
Absolutely.
The reason why they need a second guy in the rotation is to have a 1-2 combo with Crochet, but you also need insurance for Crochet. Clearly, this guy is one of the up-and-coming, better strikeout pitchers, ERA in the league. He's got stuff. He's young. He's already had the Tommy John, right? He's the guy right now. You gave up a lot for him. Gave up your best catching prospect. You need insurance for him, though. And having the insurance, I think, takes the pressure off of Brian Bayo, Lucas Giolito, etc. I don't know what's going to happen with Tanner Houck. Do you think they're looking at Tanner Houck as this is the mid-season acquisition pitcher? I would hate that.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth, Joe. I think that's the fear if you're a Red Sox fan, is that they've done that in the past. They might do it again.
I like Houck. Don't get me wrong.
He's fine.
If another team traded for Houck, they'd love it. It's just that he's not going to bolster anything.
It's not enough.
All-star, don't do that to me.
It's like when Chris Sale came back. It's like, oh, Chris Sale, yeah.
Yeah, he's the acquisition at the deadline.
No, thank you.
There's a spot for Houck, whether it's in the rotation or coming out of the bullpen, right? I mean, there's a need for Houck. I just don't think the need is top of the rotation. He's not going to. You'd be asking too much to expect that out of him.
And you mentioned Crochet in his innings, but Giolito, who's been really good lately, has not been good the last couple of seasons, and you wonder what he's going to look like in the second half.
He went on a run, and the home run ball is his problem right now. But it is better competition. Not to cross sports, but I will anyways because we're allowed to do that here on the show. But, the Patriots keep talking about taking advantage of bad football. The Red Sox have taken advantage of bad baseball. Teams, in particular. That 10-game winning streak, I know 4 came against the Rays, but they won games that they should have. Going 2-4 against better competition. Again, they failed the test, but I still think they have time this weekend to even that out. I'm not saying they're going to sweep the Dodgers, but if there's no Ohtani and no Betts, doesn't that favor the Red Sox at home?
Dodgers have kind of been struggling lately, too. They got swept by the Brewers. It's kind of a good time to be getting the Dodgers.
So what's going on with Betts? I know he hurt his foot or something a while back. Because Smitty said he might not play. He said Ohtani's out, though, which I did not know. So maybe I need to look into that a little bit here.
He broke his toe stubbing it at home.
Oh, a toe?
A toe.
Mookie Betts stubbed the toe?
So that's what they're telling us, Joe.
I feel like that's a ruse.
I'm not going to call Mookie a liar, Joe.
No, I'm not either. You got to hurt something a little more than a toe, right?
What was it, Marcus Smart in the plant, or was it Jalen in the plant?
How about Justin Fields at practice?
Turf toe? Well, at least I don't think Mookie Betts got carted off anywhere.
I'm just saying that Okay, tell me it's a toe. Well, go ahead. I'll believe it. All right, that's a toe. Man, I don't know if they'll announce his name, if he's not going to play or whatever, but has he ever been welcomed back at Fenway? Has he been back here? I'm trying to think now. 19, 20, 21? No?
2023, it looks like he played at Fenway. I could be wrong, but very quick Google search. Yeah, August 25th, 2023, Mookie Betts receives ovation at Fenway Park.
Big weekend, too, I think, now that I remember.
Article by Ian Brown.
Oh, a good friend. Oh, a friend of the
MLB.com.
He's the guy that said some dude at night, and I went, dude, it's me. You know me. Literally. All the baseball guys are off today. I really appreciate Smitty for calling in, because if I got a day off before like a weekend series of the Dodgers on a Thursday, hey, Joe Hickey, come on tonight, I'm going to be like, dude, I'm going out tonight.
Get lost.
Or like, I'm not doing anything today. All right, let's pause real quick, Skaz. We'll take a break here. We'll wrap things up here on the other side. I got a big event this weekend I wanted to tell you guys about, and I will wrap up any finishing touches. And I do want to get into that McDaniels thing, just a little cheeky thing on the way out of here. I'm Joe Murray, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray.
Josh McDaniels and Mike Vrabel. You know, it really goes back a long time. My mom and dad both went to John Carroll. And growing up, my mom and dad had always showed me and talked about all these guys that were coaching in the NFL that went to their school and they were proud of, became a fan of theirs. You know, then I really admired, you know, Coach McDaniels and all the work that he had done.
As you're running the O route, you know, you get to the top of the route, you know what I mean? You can see both directions because you may break either way. You know what I'm saying? Okay.
And Josh was always great at exposing what our strengths were to the guys, to their attributes.
Play wide. 66, hits you up.
Two receivers stacked to the left. Amendola along with Brock. Now Edelman motions out to the left. Quick throw for Julian, setting up the screen. He's going to look to throw downfield. Amendola wide open. Makes the catch for the 18 in stride. He's gone. Touchdown, Patriots.
Yep. Hey, and then fake it out. Yep. Create good habits. That's good. Okay. Boom.
You know, in my past that we had studied, you know, a lot of the history offensively, you know, what's going on here in New England. Obviously, Josh was a big part of it.
Keep running hard, keep protecting the ball, okay?
The playbook is just so much more detailed and more structured. So many details to go into it and to think about, especially as a center. And it's a great privilege to have.
McDaniels is back, but that was a puff piece.
You're not a fan of the John Carroll pipeline there, Joe?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's better than the School of Mining and Technology, I guess.
If I had to say one who was better than the other, I would say McDaniels was better than. I can't even remember his name. Why do I see his face? Matt Patricia.
RPI, yeah.
Do you think my brain just So wait a second. Who's the offensive coordinator at Ohio State this year? Because if Matt Patricia is the defensive coordinator.
Former Miami Dolphin, wide receivers coach for a while over there.
Braxton Berrios?
Brian Hartline.
Sorry. Oh, no. He's a dude. He's good. He's a big up-and-coming name.
He's legit.
Oh, dude,
those wide receivers at Ohio State. He's turned that place into a factory.
That's I don't think he should leave, dude. I wouldn't be surprised if he's the successor.
I mean, it would kind of make sense
because I mean, who knows? Maybe the NFL would come calling. I don't know.
It'd probably be Vrabel.
He needs some time though. Hartline would need offensive coordinator, probably show a little bit. Brian Hartline is definitely like a rising coach in the ranks, but former player, not one of these nerds. You know, and what I mean by nerds is analytical. Brian Hartline was a very good college player, played time. I mean, he's earned his. I mean, Wes Welker's a wide receivers coach somewhere, isn't he, or was? Guys know the game, then how to get open. You got to respect that, you know. So I thought it was a little bit of a puff piece, maybe because there are some people that are like, why is Josh McDaniels back? And I had this earlier, but because of the Hogan stuff, my whole mentality got completely just thrown off. But Kendrick Bourne was on with Zoe and Beetle today talking about how he's comfortable for the first time here because he's playing in Josh McDaniels' offense. But in a way, like, I thought that they were doing a new offense. Sounds like they're running the old offense?
I thought that was interesting. And then also, not at Pat's camp today, but down in Dallas, I thought there were some interesting comments made by a former Patriot. You see old buddy Joe Milton there? Maybe taking some shots?
Yeah, you got that? So I got the quotes if you'd like me to read them.
Yep, I don't know if there's sound. I had the quotes myself, too.
Joe Milton has been surprised by how much Dak Prescott has helped him. Dak's a great leader. All respect to him. He literally goes out of his way to help me. I've been in another building. I know how that goes. It's just very different over here.
You think that leads off 2-6 tomorrow, if you had to guess? You know, if they get to that comes across their desk?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I would say so. I've been in another building. I know how that goes. It's just very different over here. Who is that a shot at?
Drake May. I mean, the Patriots, but Drake May? Did they not? I mean, were they not like what? Whoa! Who is that about?
I'm with you 100% that it reads as like, he's taking a shot at, another quarterback he was playing with. But my problem with that quote is if you're Joe Milton, you should not be looking at the rookie next to you for help. Like Dak Prescott is, MVP candidate type player when he's on, like older guy. He should be mentoring you. I don't know if Joe Milton, I hope he didn't expect Drake May to be helping him out last year, but I took it more as a shot at the Patriots as an organization.
Of course. And you know what? They deserve it. What that guy went through last year, he deserves it. And did he win a game that they probably didn't want to? Yeah. You know what I think's going on with Joe Milton? And you know what, guys? There are some guys who struggle in college and figure it out in the NFL. I just wouldn't bet on Joe Milton to be that guy. But I really do think Joe Milton's very confident in his ability. I think Joe Milton believes he can play in this league because of his ability. I do think he does have some ability that other people don't have. He played one game and won a game. Like he's one and done, got traded. I'm sure we'll see Joe Milton on Thanksgiving Day. Like I'm telling you, we're going to see Joe Milton play. I think he thinks he's better than maybe he is. And you know what? He needs that kind of confidence. So more power to him. But I've been in another building. Yeah, you've been in Michigan. You've been in Tennessee. You've been in New England now. Now you're in Dallas. So what's the other building? Which one is it, Joe? Oh, and Dak's been helpful?
Very helpful. Goes out of his way to help him, Joe.
Is that because
he knows you stink? Yeah, this Joe Milton guy needs all the help he can get. I'm not worried about him taking my job. I'll help him any way he can.
Again, I want to be fair to Joe Milton. And any opportunity that he's had, he's taken advantage of it. Very confident, though. Very, very, very confident. And you know what? Dallas is very confident in him, too. So I've been in another building. I know how that goes. It's just very different over here. Hey, is the owner over there walking around, too?
I certainly would think so.
The owner's son of a clipboard taking notes?
Probably down there.
You know what it is? It's because it's college football life out there. It's college football crazy. He loves it. Joe Milton's a big name in Dallas. I think he feels it. And I think he knows that if Dak goes down, he's the guy. Last year, he was fighting for a roster spot. That guy couldn't throw a check down. But now, very different over here. All right, real quick, wanted to tell you guys, Saturday, I'll be at Polar Park in Worcester, home of the Woo Sox. There's a big card show. I'll be set up. I got 2 big tables, cards, memorabilia. It's a huge event. Some of the best in the hobby will be set up. There's tons of baseball events. If you've never been to the park, I'm telling you, it's worth the trip. Easy parking, good food in the area. There'll be food served at the event as well. It'll be the Best Flippin' Card Show. Go follow that website, bestflippincardshow.com. I'll be there probably from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m.